gets better as soon as possible.
Friedrich will die 168-Stunden-Woche. Wie wär's, wenn ich dir in die Klatze einen Tunnel boxe? Hier kommt die Putzkolonne. Wir schauen nur zu euch auf, kauen wir vom Bundestag Sonnenblumenkerne in der Russenhocke. Erst denkt man, wow, big privilege. Doch ich kenn mich aus, ich bitte dich. Wer kennt sie auch, die Multimillionäre aus der Mittelschicht? Freddy macht Leben für uns alle unbezahlbar und denkt echt, unser Problem wär Marihuana. Klar bildet noch mehr Jungs für die Schlacht aus.
Thank you, Polaris, a true OG.
Ich glaub, dass dieses Land nur einen Satz braucht. Mets, Leck, Eier, komm schon, du hast uns doch lieb. Mets, Leck, Eier, also
Loki a bop, man. Heike a bop.
schon aus Prinzip, weil Rente ab 70 ist Friedrich
J-Romag, thank you very much for the 3 months and the 6 months.
Krieg schickt. Leck, Eier, Friedrich, guten Appetit. Mets, Leck, Donalds Fritten oder weiter Netanyahus Fuß. Ein guter Mensch zu sein, hast du auf jeden nie versucht. Kinder sterben, du schickst mehr Waffen. Ist doch Ehrensache, rede ich's mir gut? Ja, dann wähl ich CDU. Ha! Die kommen mit Kritik immer besser klar. Los, komm, schick doch das SEK. Wer tröstet in der Zeit klein Friedrich? Er sitzt zickig im Bällebad. Ein Frauenkörper geht kein Hurensohn was an. Sorg mal lieber für meinen Wohlstand, Dicker. Du bist doch ein Mann. Wie du in die Tasten haust, zieh dich krass aus. Und wenn du schon mal dabei bist, schreib dir folgenden Satz auf. Mets, Leck, Eier, komm schon, du hast uns doch lieb. Mets, Leck, Eier, also runter auf die Knie. Schon aus Prinzip, weil Rente ab 70 ist Friedrich so niedrig. Du geldgeiler Opa, der Kinder im Krieg schickt. Leck, Eier, Friedrich, guten Appetit. Mets, Leck, Eier. Mets, Leck, Eier, komm schon, du hast uns doch lieb. Mets, Leck, Eier, also runter auf die Knie. Schon aus Prinzip, weil Rente ab 70 ist Friedrich so niedrig. Du geldgeiler Opa, der Kinder im Krieg schickt. Leck, Eier, Friedrich, guten Appetit. Mets, Leck, Eier.
Merz Lek Aya, welcome in chat, welcome in chat, welcome in chat. How we doing this fine morning, evening / afternoon? It is a Wednesday, 5:55 with 5,505 subs. Oh my God, so many fives! God damn it! Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're all doing rather fine. I am doing okay. Shout out to Cuphead, who's taking a day off. Her dog got some physical health problems. I hope everything turns out good. So keep the pupper in your prayers, as they say in America, or hope for the best, as we say in the rest of the world. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Something strange about my camera. I can't notice what the fuck it is. Like, I just look strange today. I look so strange. I don't understand why. Like, getting some weird dysmorphia. I don't understand. I don't understand. Reverse? No, it's not reversed. This is how it always was. I haven't touched anything. I checked. It's not reversed. It's so weird. It is. It's like, what the fuck? Like, it's so strange. So strange. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It is reversed to... no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm looking at myself on the screen. It's not reversed, guys. What the fuck are you talking about? Is it your lighting? I don't know. Maybe. Something strange happened. Something strange happened. Is the mask light? It's the mask light, maybe. Did it change? No, it's like the same as yesterday. What? Normally I'm on the left. Now I'm on the right. No. Like, what if I do? Wait. So do I usually sit like this? Do I usually sit like this? I don't understand. What's happening? You need to tweet more. Your bangers always hit the main timeline. Dude, I've been murdering it on that platform. I don't get a tweet under 1 million views. It is very strange. But Twitter is so fucking irrelevant. It doesn't lead to any other growth. So it's very strange. I don't know. Do you guys really think it's reverse? Like, wait, if I put it on the main screen, dude, it's still fucking weird. I'm usually here. Why am I here now? You understand? Like, if you go to Twitch and you look at like an old video, like yesterday. Look at me yesterday, completely normal. Look at where the image is here, and look at where it is here. God, it's reversed! Happy fucking April Fool's Day! That all sounded much funnier in my head. Shit. I blame Toasty. It was Toasty's idea. Toasty, you don't suck. You were kind of awesome, but God fucking damn it, why did that sound so much funnier in my head? I was like, everybody's gonna be like, ooh, is it reversed? But no, everybody just came in and was like, yeah, it's reversed. It's reversed. Wonderful. So like, we couldn't even. I suck at April Fools. I suck at April Fools so much. I suck so much. I can't lie. I can't lie. I really can't lie. I wish I could lie more. Actually, I don't. But flip horizontal like this, okay? And then like this. Wait, where's my camera? Giving me major. Flip horizontal. Okay. Oh my God, I can breathe now. God damn it. Need to layer it with fake takes as well. Maybe. Let's see later on in the stream. I'm going to try and fuck with the people that come in later. But all of you guys have to be on board with me. Like, you need to start losing your shit at me and so on so that it, so that it channels that energy. 2 years. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much to the biggest racist in chat. Thank you very much. I can't believe I said that sentence. Every sentence ever has been said on this stream, I feel like. Should have done the face reveal thing. I've done the face reveal before. For 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, I said I'm going to do a face reveal. And you know what I did? I posted a picture of me when I was 1. So, like, I don't know how good Palantir is. Probably can trace who the fuck I am just from that photo. But I don't know. I felt very cheeky when I did that. This is a photo of me as a 1-year-old. And it's this photo. It's this photo. This is me as a 1-year-old. Wait. This is me as a 1-year-old. Dude, what is happening at the deprogram TikTok? Is it live? No, it's not at all. It's not used at all. It's RIP. It's RIP. None of us have time to upkeep that shit. Did you just try to poop sock me, Barry? Come on. You know I have defense mechanisms installed because of specifically you, mostly. Like, that's positively adorable. It is. Now he's got a good bit with the mask. A reveal is too big for April Fools. Yeah, no, dude, like, I don't think I'll ever do a face reveal. Number 1, because I'm extremely fugly. Number 2, because now I'm the mask guy, so I gotta stick with it, You gotta stick with it. You gotta stick with your thing. Even if I start, like, revealing on other platforms or, like, I don't know, showing my face on the podcasts, I'm going to... what's the word? I'm gonna keep the mask for the stream. You early today? I'm literally... For the last 2 months, I haven't started a stream this late, which shows how important Cuphead is for this operation. There you go. Cuphead disappears. Now we don't have the intro segment where we cover the last 24 hours of news. We don't have truth or lie. This is why Cuphead is so instrumental, and that is why you need to subscribe, because 10% goes to Cuphead. Was a mask under a mask bit, though. Oh, that's a great bit. That's a great bit. Probably somebody else has already done that bit. Can I share a pic of me when I was 2? No, my friend, don't do that. Don't do that. There's weird people on the internet. I don't suggest doing that here. Oh my God, he doesn't know that Iran nuked Washington. I mean, I already know they've nuked the proverbial economy, man. I saw that bit in a porn once. You watch some impressive stuff, dude. A luchador did the mask under a mask bit. They are always great. That is class. That is absolute class. Don't worry, gambling your channel points will come back. Don't you worry, my beautiful children. Anyways, welcome in. If anybody has died since the last stream, please do tell us in chat, because as we all know, whether in heaven or in hell, you're still going to have access to this beautiful, beautiful community. The nuke in question. What is the nuke in question? Nuke in question. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Cross the ocean just to find your granted. Sacrifice your own boys for a lie. Listen.
Or lie.
Yeah.
Welcome in, chat. Welcome in.
Yeah. Make America great again. Yo, tails, this shit crazy. Yeah. Make America great again now. We will see what happens, yeah. Watch this. Sacred defense, we protecting the soil. While you sacrifice soldiers to pay for your spoil. You want to run the blow.
So you guys need to keep in mind that we have hit an incredible number with the subs, and we will grow because infinite growth is what this channel stands for, okay? Space, luxury, gay communism. But also keep in mind that like 500 of these subs are ones that I've gifted, right? Which is from Gamba. Last month, we were at around a little bit under 500 subs that you guys won off of me in Gamba. So never fucking tell me that shit is rigged. 500 subs. I think if you levitate over my name in chat at the gifty, 4,000 gifts I've given over my Twitch community, which is an absurd amount of money. That is, oh my God, that is 20,000 euros. Oh my God. Now when I said that out loud, oh my God, oh Lord Christ, I have gifted my own chat 20,000 euros worth of gifts. Holy fucking shit. Yeah. 5.5 is crazy. We dropped below 5,000 after we hit. And thank you so much to all the Oilers yesterday when we fucked with Mike during the co-stream. That was a fantastic co-stream. When we fucked with Mike and I was like, I'm going to get more oil than you. And he's like, no fucking way. No fucking way. I think we kind of even overdid it. He looked slightly offended. So I'm going to have to like apologize and shit. I don't know. Feel like, should I? Or like, nah, I'm not. 475 last month. There we go. Co-stream was hilarious, right? Co-stream was fun. We're going to try and do them once every 2 weeks and stuff because they're good both for the streams, for all of our individual streams, but they're also good for the show. Speaking of the show, we now have a very good highlight that you should share with your friends. I think it's good. I spent like 4 hours today making it. It's this one. It's Hassan Piker rates the most dangerous right-winger figures 1 to 10. So I don't know if this is gosh, but I don't really care. If you have your favorite like Hassan adjacent or right-wing adjacent, Reddit boards, Discord communities, try to push this in. It's a very fun conversation. It's not just about rating them from 1 to 10, but it's mostly rating them 1 to 10, but then explaining why we ran. You mean gosh? Yes, gosh. Try to start streaming a channel this week, but my tech is too old. That is a very unfortunate and very, very real entry barrier to streaming. Unfortunately, you do need, like, I have invested a lot of my money to make a stream look like this, and it doesn't even look that good, which should tell you a lot, right? I mean, not my money, your money. You donate, so I reinvest it, right? Hank Pecker speaks for the Hogs. I mean, just the way it starts. Just look at this. This one, you got to rate more in like a metaphysical way, like long-term impact, okay? You know which one I'm going to ask. Charlie Kirk.
Bro, everyone is dead.
I mean,
What the hell happened to the Titans of the right? They're like either
Right.
comatose, literally dead, or figuratively dead, like Ben Shapiro's movement. Yeah, I mean, his, again, zero, nothing.
exclamation point reaction to find all the links specifically to this one. We're going to watch it later probably, and then together with the video rate these figures. I want to give you my ratings because I don't really do them in the video. I think it's going to be fun, right? But before we do that, let's jump into the news. Apparently today in around 9 hours we're going to have a big speech by Donaldino Trompalino, who's going to crocodilo iterino his own economy. So guys, he's either going to say we're invading or he's going to say this war's over. Poly market must be going absolutely fucking bananas right now. We'll see what it is. Most analysts think that he's going to say we're pulling out, but he might be doing 2D chess by constantly giving interviews where he's saying we're pulling out, but then not pulling out. So any analyst telling you they know exactly what's going to happen, low-key bullshitting. Let's see what happens. Shall we have young American sons getting blown up by drones, or shall we finally unplug the Hormuzi? Only time will tell. One thing that I can tell you for sure is that the Iranians are saying these guys aren't talking to us, and we are not talking to them. So I don't know which one is more likely, but let's see. 50% chance it's another pump and dump. I agree completely, my friend. I agree completely. Iran decides when the war ends, not the U.S. God bless, God bless, God bless. He'll say it's over, but leave 40K troops on the ground and still Hormuz is closed. Yeah. He's going to talk about how the Dow is over 50,000. The Dow is over 50,000. It is over 50,000. Mods, can I please have reaction pod links to Spotify and to YouTube together with a text that says new show, check out my new show or some shit, and then Spotify link and then YouTube and link. I would be very mucho apreciado of such behavior. Okay. Very good. Now, let's start out with some polling because it doesn't look good.
CNN polling shows President Trump's approval rating on the economy has hit a new low.
The economy.
Just 31% approving of the president's handling of the economy, the top issue among Americans. His overall approval is a point above his all-time low in CNN polling, holding steady at 35%. All of this comes, of course, ahead of his address to the nation tonight. CNN Washington Bureau Chief David Chalian here to make sense of it all.
I feel like the exclamation point reaction taking people to the link tree only is bad. Link tree isn't mainstream like YouTube or Spotify. It unironically should go to... it's a great point. It should just go to YouTube. Because then in YouTube, I link everything else. That's such a great point. Thank you, I don't think so. This is such a very good point. We low-key fucked up by linking Linktree to everything. Because like I even have like very, very, very intelligent people being like, but on the Linktree you don't have any links to the Spotify or to Apple Podcasts or any of the other ones. But I do but you just gotta click this. Like the way Linktree I guess works is shit because you gotta guess. I have to click on this, and then you have all the platforms. So yeah, Loki L, but we'll see. We should change that. Exclamation point reaction. How about this? Linktree, Spotify, YouTube. That's great. And very good. That's great. Linktree is giving OnlyFans vibes. It is, isn't it? So imagine how bad you gotta be for even Americans to not support your war. I mean, the only time Americans don't support war is when the price of chicken nuggets goes up. But I'm glad my Twitter posts have not gone unnoticed, honestly. Slight ego boost, I have to say. Breaking the first local baby of of April is born. Charlie Kirk Curtis was born at 12:01. Oh my God. But this is very good, very good. Hit me with your good April Fool's jokes. Hit me with that shit. The baby carries the flame. I'm a Charlie Kirk Buddhist, okay? I believe in reincarnating as Charlie Kirk. I believe like reincarnating as Charlie Kirk is the last life you have before you're given the blessing of never having to be reborn. Isn't that crazy how like certain Buddhist cults literally give you that pitch? They give you the pitch of like, oh, you hate life, you want to blow your brains out. Well, that's gonna suck because you're gonna be reborn as something you hate. So we're gonna give you like another option where when you kill yourself, you're not gonna have to be reborn, but you gotta let me have sex with your wife first. Typical cult moments. Klasa, блядь. Klasa.
Give us some sense of how big of a change this is, but it is a new low.
Well, as you noted, if the economy is the top issue for Americans and used to be a strong suit of Donald Trump's and he is at a record low on that becomes a problem. You noted his overall approval in our poll, 35%. Just look over time, Sarah. You say the change. There hasn't been much change since last October. He has been consistently at this low point for quite some time now. That's what's giving Republicans on Capitol Hill who are up for re-election this year a little bit of heart.
One could say that almost all American presidents having a very low approval rating shows that people are not happy with the system and yet constantly expect the new president is going to make things better. Or no, the new president is going to make things better. The new president is going to make things better. But then they come and just capitalism remains at its late stage, which is mugging every single one of them. Maybe it's systemic and it's not about which guy is at the helm of a ship that is slowly sinking, but about changing this ship for multiple more sustainable ships running on Chinese solar panels.
Palpitation. If you look at his approval by party, you also see that his biggest drop is among Republicans. So we are seeing some slippage among the president's own partisans. He's now at 80% approval among Republicans. In January, that was 87%. He's down at 26% approval with independents, Sarah, a key part of the electorate that also will give a lot of worry to Republicans on Capitol Hill.
Look, now the economy is the biggest concern of Americans, and when he was elected, it was the biggest concern of Americans. It is the reason, in major part, why he got elected, because he said he could fix it fast. Can you give us some sense, delve into some of the numbers that you're seeing on the economy here in this poll?
Yeah, take a look here about his overall handling of the economy. As you noted, 31% approval. That is a record low for Donald Trump. You can see here over time his handling of the economy. And that, by the way, among Republicans is at 71%.
Ironically, though, one of the worst handling of the so-called economy, even if we believe in, the innate power of the executive body to be able to steer the ship off of the country in a particular direction. Usually they simply react to whatever the current systemic contradictions are throwing at them. But you got to give it to the Republicans, how they have this innate ability to speed run decline, okay? How they have this innate ability of running based on conclusions that somebody in 1993 America would think is doable, and then fumbling the bag so profoundly that you would even confuse if there was like a god of the free market, a god of capitalism that has already written the rules and regulations of the slow decline of your economy. When they look at specifically MAGA Republicans, they're like, damn, dude. Holy fucking shit. Like, are you doing this intentionally? We talk very often here on stream about, the very big fallacy of believing that, maybe, what's it called? Everything always works out because, people in charge know what they're doing. They can't be taking L's this motherfucking large. And that is a fallacy. Yes, they absolutely can. steering the ship directly into the iceberg, and the iceberg's looking at the ship, and it's like, are you really, like, I love this, but there's no way they're gonna really. Oh my God, it's getting closer. They're really gonna. Are you really gonna? Oh my God. Oh, they're entering me. Oh my God. Oh Lord, they're inside of. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Trump would be 99 in the polls if he did this. Yes.
Percent. Just in January?
The iceberg is even trying to dodge, but the ship is better aim. Everybody's screaming at them like, okay, you made a massive fumble, but one that is not necessarily too difficult to get out of. Long-term consequences of the invasion of Iran will never go away, but you can limit the short-term effects. Please exit me, said the iceberg. But the United States is like, hold my ship, lubes itself up and goes deeper into the iceberg. Like as it's sinking, everybody's like, "Whoa! There's no way we're sinking. This isn't happening. There's no way. This is come on, guys. There's no way. This is even underwater. They're talking to each other. Like you only see subtitles. Trust me, bro. We're not sinking. This is the best decision we could ever make. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Look at the price of eggs, bro."
At 85% approval on the economy with Republicans. So we're seeing slippage there as well on the economy factor, and largely driven by really pessimistic assessment from the American people. 77% say economic conditions in the country are poor. Only 23% say they're good. And a lot of that right now, we know $4 a gas. This is not going to help his political predicament. Only 24% of Americans approve how Donald Trump is handling gas prices. 3/4 of Americans disapprove how he's doing that. If you look by party, again, among his own Republicans, it's just a bare majority. 56% only approve how the president's handling gas prices.
Yeah, and independents, that is an abysmal number. They're 16%. Let me ask you about foreign policy, because the gas prices and foreign policy actually go together right now.
Right now? Oh my, holy mother of America. Lady, you don't live on a separate planet. What you do to the rest of the planet blows back 100% of the time. Oh, wow. They really be giving jobs to everyone these days, eh?
Yeah, they do, no doubt, because of the war in Iran, and we'll hear the president address this tonight, no doubt. 36% approval on how he's handling foreign affairs. So again, right in line with his overall approval, which is abysmally low. 36% approval, 64% disapproval. And again, when you break it out by party, you see the slippage among Republicans. In January, it was 84% approval among Republicans on Trump's handling of foreign affairs. That's down 10 points now. Clearly, the Iran war is not sitting well with the American people across.
It's still embarrassing that 74% of Republicans are like, yeah, man, everything is going according to plan. Are we winning yet? We're winning, right, bro? We're so like dominating right now, bro. Right, bro? Bro, please tell me we're winning. It's incredible that only 10% fall. Like even when they feel it on their own skin, when they can't afford like fuel prices or chicken nuggets, they're still at 74%. Yes. What do you call this? You call this a death cult. You don't call this a poverty cult. You call this people that that genuinely, physically, mentally don't have the ability to connect two dots. Okay, this is the reading proficiency of a toddler necessary for you to see your country being dragged into a completely unnecessary war. But even if you believe that it is necessary and you swallow all of the propaganda, you feel the negative effects on your own skin, and yet you still support. It's magnanimous.
The party spectrum.
All interesting numbers, David Chalian. Thank you so much for breaking them down for us this morning.
Like we joke with liberals that the only thing they want to do is go back to brunch because they want like The only thing they care about in politics is aesthetics. Like they want a big man in charge who like is very eloquent and doesn't embarrass them in front of the Europeans. Well, the neocons and conservatives in general are one could argue much worse because they are in constant brunch. No matter what happens, they are at brunch, right? They have no brunch to yearn to go to. They exist in an alternative brunch dimension, continuously brunching. And no matter how much more expensive brunch becomes, they are enveloped in the brunch and they do not notice it shifting. The gravity of the size of their brunch is so large that they don't feel it rotating, like the way you don't feel a planet rotating unless you see the day changing into night. It's impressive. It's impressive. It's the brunch in the mind, right? A liberal yearns for a brunch in front of him. A conservative constantly lives in a state of brunch.
Morning. So when asked to name the most important issue here in this latest CNN polling, I want to just read what one Republican respondent told CNN in terms of this poll, saying, quote, prices. Everything is so expensive. It makes it very difficult to do anything other than work and go home. Trips to the grocery store are ridiculous. Between gas and grocery prices, we are poor. Sungmin, how does the Trump administration, in terms of handling this, the talking points that we saw during the Biden administration of, hey, you should feel great, things are great.
Thank
Clearly
you, by any
that doesn't
means.
work, right? It's about how people are feeling. How much recognition is there behind closed doors within the White House about just how
Imagine caring about the opinion of Europeans when EU PMs now have... Yeah, I saw this.
Le 3 d'Ormuz, c'est là. Mais c'est où l'Iran? Ben là. Et là, c'est le 3 d'Ormuz. Mais où est l'Iran? Mais attendez, bon, ça va. Aïe, aïe, aïe. Bon, un demi-point pour le ministre de l'Europe qui a eu le mérite de situer le détroit d'Ormuz. On enchaîne. Vous voyez la carte là?
Qu'est-ce que vous faites? Vous me faites peur.
C'est où l'Iran?
Alors attendez. Je crois que c'est là, non?
Non, ça c'est la Bulgarie et c'est en Europe.
Est-ce que vous me laissez faire Google?
Oh my God, Bulgarians cooked. Holy shit, they're gonna invade you.
En attendant la réponse Google, nouvel essai avec Fabienne Keller, ex-maire de Strasbourg.
damaging this could be.
Well, the problem
unironically, like running a government completely consisting of the 300 people currently in chat would probably yield better results than what we currently have either in Europe or the United States of America.
Challenge for this White House was that affordability was a
All
major
I'm saying,
issue
you know,
even before the war in Iraq
this is not me saying you're very smart. This is me saying they're very stupid.
began. Obviously,
I'm kidding. I'm saying you're smart.
the voters were going to the grocery store, still not satisfied with how much they had to pay. They were looking at housing costs and these other issues. And now the fact that gas prices are so on the front radar with the Middle East conflict is a major problem for the Trump administration. This was a similar thing that went through the Biden administration. You know, White House staff is very aware that gas prices, what they cost, it's just like sticker prices all over wherever you go. It is a reminder to voters just how much prices are going up because gas is one of the few items that you buy where you.
The way she's pitching this is like people are stupid and they don't notice when prices go up, but prices of gas are absolutely everywhere, so everybody notices that they go up. So when you're trying to screw over your voter base, make sure you slowly increase prices and serve corporate interests in sectors where they're not going to notice, like, I don't know, food, price of eating out, price of furniture, price of entire car. But when it comes to something that's plastered everywhere, that's a no-no, okay? Aesthetics. I mean, that's at the end of the day what, you know, politics inside of capitalism that do not want to criticize it at the end of the day are. It's about finding new and ingenious ways of convincing everyday working people that everything's fine, blood. Like, everything is going according to plan. Trust me. The reason you're slowly becoming more and more bankrupt is because you're not doing enough.
You just see the prices go up everywhere.
Just check out your friends' Instagram stories. They're living it up, la vida loca, even though they're just reposting stories from 3 years ago. James from the internet, what's up, Big G? Gas prices are so damn high. Why is Joe Biden still doing this to us? Thank you for the 19 months, you legend. Thank you very much, man. Very nice to see you, everybody. Shout out to James. He is from the internet and a dear friend of the show. Go give him a follow. Thank you.
You go. The White House chief of staff is very aware of this. Staff behind the scenes is also very aware, which is why you have Trump kind of being optimistic.
I mean, when America looks like this, of course everybody's going to notice. Of course, everybody's going to notice oil prices increasing. Let's play a game. Notice a gas station. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's not a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Were there 2 Exxons, by the way, on both sides of the street? Okay. Exxon in America. Do they have in the States, in the shells, do they have those amazing hot dogs? Do they have amazing hot dogs in Shell? Don't shoot me. I usually repump at Shell because of the hot dogs. Here they do these hot dogs that are like, whoa. You're genuinely like, whoa. Like, they're very good. They're very, very good. The food at Shell stations is dookie. Maybe in the States. Here, the hot dog is, whoa, damn, bro. I believe that is a Balkan thing. They bribe us with hot dog. Give me more dogs of the hot. That's food adjacent. Oh, yeah, I have no idea what they put in that. And I immediately have infinite diarrhea when I eat it. But still. We have it in Romania as well, right? Dude, student days, I used to unironically trek for 3 kilometers to a Shell and buy 5 hot dogs and walk back because they were like €0.50 per hot dog. Man, that used to be a utopia. Now I think they're like €2.50. And just live off of Shell hot dogs. I'm gonna wonder when I'm 50 why I'm like my body is betraying me, like as if I'm 85. And then I'll remember I ate fucking hot dogs for lunch, breakfast, and dinner from Shell gas stations. Brother, after Bosnia qualifies for the World Cup, I can't see straight today. Still cheers. Absolutely. Congratulations. Bosnian nation. That shit was fucking legit. Those of you who do not know, good little old Bosnia is fucking celebrating. Good for them, because they have kicked Italian ass in football, in the ball
Bosnian
sport.
soccer fans celebrated wildly in the streets of Zenica after their...
Zenica, bre, jebem vas u pičku. Fucking the star AI fucking shit say the fucking name properly at least. Zenica. Yo, where are you from? I'm from Zenica. My eyes are gonna implode.
National team qualified for the World Cup by defeating Italy 4-1 in a penalty shootout on Tuesday. The qualification ended a 12-year wait for Bosnia and Herzegovina to return to football's biggest tournament. Dozens of fans celebrated at the stadium and hundreds spilled onto the streets, many draped in Bosnian flags and holding flares.
Ne znam šta se ovdje desilo. Stvarno, svaka čast, momci.
I can't believe it. Really kudos to the boys. They left their hearts at the pit.
Smo ostavili srce na terenu. Svaka im čast.
Ništa, nije ni više ni bitno, pa prošli smo ovo, pa sa šta bude.
Nothing matters, we passed this. This actually really explains Balkan mentality. Like economy in the slumps, unemployment rate 40%. Everything is in chaos. But hey, we kicked some usually Western ass in football. Fuck yeah, life is good, dude. Let's go, man. I don't like if you're a smart autocratic leader of a of course I gotta turn it negative. I'm sorry, I'm really glad Bosnia got in actually, but if you want to be a really smart autocratic leader, autocratic whatever the fuck that means, but you know what I mean, of a small country, unironically invest like crazy in sports. And then look at your sports people continuously winning every championship in every type of sport that you want. Because that, like, you would be surprised for small countries that pacifies resentment so much. It's such a strong opiate of the masses. Such an incredibly strong opiate of the masses because, you know, you tell yourself, okay, we matter in the world, I guess. I guess we did something, you know? Thank you, Neil Green. Thank you very much for the sub. Thank you very much.
Ovo je što smo čekali 12
godina. Forwarding that legendary rascal Gifty fucking rascal is a legend.
Pa zašto Bog da? Više ništa nije bitno.
Tema Bosna gori, znači ostali smo bez teksta, zaista.
It's not a new Colosseum, it's the OG Colosseum. It's sports.
Znači slavimo 5 dana.
Bosnia prevailed on penalties after the playoff final ended 1-1 after extra time to qualify for the World Cup for only the second time. Bosnia will join co-hosts Canada, Qatar, and Switzerland in Group B at the World Cup, while Italy's footballing inquest begins anew.
You want a metaphor of the Balkans? You want a metaphor? This is it, okay? A bunch of people in a decent enough BMW that, wait for it,
in Group
don't even live in Bosnia celebrating Bosnia's success. Bosnians that live in Switzerland celebrating the Bosnian God. I mean, it's sad. It's sad. But again, I'm very happy for them.
B at the World Cup, while Italy's footballing inquest begins anew, having won just a single match at the finals since lifting the trophy in 2006.
Italy's last goal at a World Cup. For those of you who don't know, they played against Italy, yeah. The potholes are so deep you could drown a giraffe, but Bosnian football beat the Italians. Let's go. We're all being so fucking negative. Good for the Bosnians. God bless. God bless. Good for you, motherfuckers. The nicest Balkans after the Macedonians, the Bosnians. I die on this hill. Second least problematic, even though when you ask 5 Bosnians about what they think Bosnia should be, all 5 of them will disagree. It's not going to be a 50-50 split. It's going to be all 5 are going to, 2 of them are not even going to say that they live in Bosnia. They're going to say that's not real. And 3 of them are going to disagree about the direction that Bosnia needs to go in. It's an impressive place.
How quickly this conflict will end and giving.
But maybe football can unite them. Let's go. Maybe there is beauty in a sport. I mean, you know, FIFA has a great ability to recognize when somebody is contributing to the stability of the world. I mean, they gave Donald Trump the Peace Prize. You know. Bosnia deniers, yeah, they're called Croats and Serbs. Yeah, they're like, oh, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, bro.
Giving the continuous timelines that he is, but obviously, you know, when you're in a broad.
Kidding. There's a lot of Serbs and a lot of Croats that absolutely love Bosnia, of course, but you know.
Conflict, you know, the U.S. is not the only actor here. It's a lot more complicated.
Trying to learn something from the Yugoslav wars. No. Let's balkanize further. Let's cut all the other countries up even more, okay? Cut Serbia in 4 parts, cut Bosnia in at least 4 parts. I want Macedonia in at least 3 parts, okay? I want an Albanian Macedonia, a Serbian Macedonia, a Bulgarian Macedonia. Cut that up real good, okay? Then take a part of Bulgaria, give it to Turkey, then start another war in which, like, the Romanians enter from the top and take a little bit. Then cut Romania, give a big part of it to Hungary, but then take from Hungary and give to Croatia, but then attack Croatia and defeat them and then take half of it and give actually to Hungary, but then invade with Serbia. No, now the newly founded Vojvodina Republic from the south and take 20% of Croatia, cut that shit and then the Italians come in from the other part and they take another 30% of Croatia. It's really good. It's a great idea. It works out really well in our favor when we cut up countries into smaller and smaller segments under the proposition that, you know, this is self-determination, even though that self-determination is then immediately co-opted by local capitalist elites and use it up even more, you know. Let's just cut more. That's always a great idea. Just eternal balkanization. Never stop the process. It does a lot for the economy, you know. Local military industrial complexes start popping up, you know. Local organ trading pops up, you know. Fucking, I hear like slave camps also make a lot of money. These are all great ideas. Let's just keep doing more of that. More of that is good. Ironically, if you turn on, doesn't matter what nationality they are, if you turn on political commentators, quote unquote, from almost any of these countries, they're screaming this shit that I just said hyper ironically.
Obviously, you've seen the administration take smaller measures such as dealing with the strategic petroleum reserve and to deal with the gas issues. But this is certainly a major challenge, a major political problem, and a liability for the Trump administration.
Yeah, it certainly is. And when we look at other potential liabilities, there are questions about foreign policy, right? So I want to play a little bit of what Secretary Hegseth had to say yesterday. He was asked specifically about the support of the base as we're watching what is unfolding in Iran. Take a listen.
I don't understand why the base, which they have already, they understand, wouldn't have faith in his ability to execute on this. Look at his track record of pursuing peace through strength, America first outcomes.
So the president...
Trump is officially out Hillary Clinton, even Hillary Clinton. During his previous administration, I very proudly said, and I stand by it, that Hillary would have caused more chaos, most likely when it comes to foreign policy. I low-key no longer believe this. This guy is just like, wow. So, just to remind ourselves, Greenland, tariffs on Europe for NATO, Venezuela, Iran, 12-day war, Gaza genocide. Like I run out of fingers. It's. He woke up and he's like, I am Al-Ghaib. I'm going to destroy the world. I am metamorphizing into a fucking flying blob.
Has actually lost when it comes to foreign policy.
Cuba. Don't get me started on Cuba.
A little bit among Republicans. How concerning is it that this could, if the war continues...
Nigeria, thank you. There you go. There's too many. I can't remember all of them. I can't even remember all of them. Son of a bitch.
...drag on. This could further erode support for...
I'm going to discombobulate.
President.
Well, Eric, I think...
inviting one of your key allies from Kyiv over to the White House and then shitting on him. Literally fucking uncircumcised dick on foreheading him. Crazy.
That's exactly right. I talked to a lot of GOP operatives, and they're very concerned about the longer this war drags on, the more support President Trump is going to lose. If you dig into this...
Wow, The Economist posted this. No way, mate. Oh my God, we spoke to diplomats, advisors, scholars, experts, and current and former officials in China. Almost all of them see the war in Iran as a grave American error. Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. What the Deprogram podcast has been fucking saying for 3 fucking years, The Economist finally catches up to. Mainstream media is so fucking slow. And imagine for The Economist to admit to something like this, how grave the mistake must be, how massive the mistake must be, that even they are like, oh my God, Orange Man bad. Thank you to Zaras very much for the 19 months. Started my 3rd birth cycle of a child soldier. Let's go. You will give me many children. Speaking of giving me, oh no, we haven't hit the first hour. I'm not gonna shill subs yet. I'm not gonna do that to you. I'm not gonna shill subs. I'm definitely not going to be telling you how you should subscribe in 7 minutes. And I'm not doing it right now by doing it very metaphorically and like hyper ironic, which is supposed to make you feel like I'm an honest guy and then subscribe more to me by saying that I'm definitely not going to do it. And then you do it and then we start a bit. Okay, so now you really shouldn't do it so I don't start a bit doing the thing where I motivate you to sub. As now a very well-established mainstream Twitch streamer. Oh my God, why did you do that? I said, don't do that, Nickel Pickle Live. No, please don't do that. And the more I say, please don't do that, the more subs start coming in. So that's the bit. So let's not do that bit. Oh no, stop, chat. Please stop subscribing now. Don't be like Nickel Pickle. Don't be a cucumba, okay? No, do not subscribe now. Don't paint chat purple. That would be awful. I would feel awful about that one. No. Okay, thank you for listening to me. Very good. There you go. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. I can then say you listen to me. You see, chat is so beta. Okay, they listen to the alpha streamer when he tells them not to subscribe. It's just little beta boys Yeah. You see, they're not subbing. They're not. You mean I'm now continuing to do reverse psychology in order to motivate them? No. Of course not. Why would I? Why would I do that? That I'm not smart enough to do that. I'm not smart enough to do that. Do the bit. Do the guys. I can't run a bit without you. I can't run a bit by myself. I am a Gentile. I'm not. Is that a pickle you buy for nickel or a pickle fabricated from nickel? I have always asked this question. I'm trying to follow, but the button doesn't push.
Poll.
That's how it works, absolutely.
From CNN, you'll find that he's dropping mostly with Republicans and with younger Republicans. And I think that that's largely due to the fact that our
Nick Fuentes.
economy doesn't work for young people anymore. And it's not President Trump's fault. He's trying to play catch up. This has been a problem that's been happening since the late 2000s, since the financial collapse.
Right, but he has to own it now, right? He's been there for a year.
Right, and look.
I also really love the daily Western tax count being at 0. That's like my favorite thing. I would really hate it if it moved to 1 when a Westerner would pay their taxes. That would be like low-key, like fucking deranged, you know? Nickel Pickle, thank you for being the only one that understands how bits work, okay? I don't think they understand how bits work.
I think there's a huge opportunity for either party. The first party.
And those of you who are subbed, continue your sub or pay forward your sub. If everybody did that, if 20% of you did that, okay? Immediate long-term sustainability for this community, okay?
To make an economy that works for
Nickel.
young people so that they can afford homes off of one income again, so that they can start getting married and having children. You know, if you build a pro-family economy, we're talking like a New Deal era dynasty of political power.
I mean, he is building new families by sending young married men to die abroad. That will lead to... That will lead to more men at home being able to sleep with soldiers' wives and then creating new families. It will, on average, spawn more families with widows that already have children with dead soldiers. That would, you know. Barry! Oh, no, Barry, no, not putting the daily tax count to 1, Barry. No, I hate you for this, Barry. No, please stop. Don't do that again. No, please. Please, Barry, don't keep doing that all the time. No.
The first party that does that. And I think that the sad thing for the American...
women will be sleeping with soldiers' wives. Actually, great point. The reason I had to go with men, my friend, is because I don't think Republicans would consider that a family, which would be very wrong, okay? Very, very wrong. Because a woman makes a family. So what does a family with 2 women mean? It's a family squared, okay? It's a ultimate family. It's a giga-chat family.
American people is they're seeing this. In that poll, if you dig even further, you'll see that the American people are kind of giving up.
I've always said this. A gay-lesbian family is worth 2 families, okay? So that is why pro-family politicians need to focus on lesbian families, because every time they win a lesbian family over, they're basically winning 2 families over, okay?
On the economy. They're losing hope. And it's not 74%, 3/4 of them say that they don't think the Democrats have the right party. The American people deserve better, and they deserve bold leadership. And I think President Trump is doing all the right things. He's trying to get things done. I don't think that the political party that's going to seize this opportunity is going to let something like the filibuster get in their way. We've seen that the Democrats do this all the time. They get rid of the filibuster, or they skirt the rules and push.
Also, guys, we need to figure out what the goal for this month is going to be. And as promised, we're going to have a stream where we design a new balaclava because we reached this target. But we got to figure out what the goal for this month should be. Please brainstorm and throw ideas at me at all times.
Institutions like Obamacare, it works for them. And I think Republicans need to get more comfortable with political power.
Be interesting to see what they do with that. Also, the American people not really fond of those efforts in general, and frankly not fond of Congress these days. Let's be honest, across the board. If we continue to talk about the war in Iran, I think something else that has been fascinating to watch, Sabrina, is the shifting message, right? So the president sort of rewriting, I guess, the language or what regime change actually means yesterday. Secretary of State Marco Rubio was also talking yesterday about objectives, and something in that stood out that I want to ask you about. Take a listen to what he had to say.
We are well on our way. We are on or ahead of schedule on each of those 4 objectives, and we can see the finish line. It's not today, it's not tomorrow, but it is coming. We are going to get to the point where our military will have achieved all of its objectives in this mission, and they're doing so with extraordinary efficiency.
So he's talking about all of these objectives. We're going to put up again.
Yeah, you know what the 5th objective is? Fighting the greatest enemy of the American people to ever exist. The American state to ever exist. The American people. Oh, shit, we got a Hippotrine. Hippotrine. Chat. Level 5 hype train? Really? My Hormuzi won't even feel that. A 5? A 5? My Hormuzi needs at least an 8 to unplug. At least 8 wagons to unplug. You know what to do. Hitler succeeded in Operation Barbarossa. His goal was just to get close to Moscow. Yeah. He just wanted a nice view of Moscow. Lebensraum, who is she? We never talked about Lebensraum. What? No, we just wanted to have a nice stroll. But the evil Soviets didn't want to let us go for a very long walk with our guns and shit. Ay. 1 minute left of the hype train, okay? Not even 6-7. You gotta help a brother out here.
The post from the Secretary and from the State Department on X. So what's different here and the reason...
Oh, Cuphead is being very brutal now. Sage, her dog, is hurting now, and she's using her dog being in pain to motivate you to get to level 10. That is fucking insane. Rascal, dude, what you did yesterday was insane. It was absolutely insane. I don't think Mike will be able to live it down. And of course, other Oilers helped. They really, really helped, and I'm very grateful to them. But we pissed in Mike's soup so fucking hard yesterday. That was so good. That was so good. That will allow me to do so much banter even on the show. It was mwah. It was mwah. Mwah. Bombona. But now the rest of you, Rascal is not supposed to carry such a large load, even though I'm sure his loads are large. Okay, I'm not going to kiss any more ass, even though you deserve more. You got to help Rascal out, okay?
We're comparing them is on March 4th. He mentions nukes, but not the Air Force. Monday, he mentions the Air Force, but not nukes. So you're the former deputy.
Open Presence, who is she? I don't know her. Open Presence. I got Rascal, dude. I got Rascal. But you guys should help Rascal out.
Press secretary at the Pentagon. How important is it to keep the narrative straight in terms of the impact on the mission? The messaging and the mission really do go hand in hand.
Well, one of the things that also wasn't mentioned that they set out at the beginning of the war was dismantling Iran's support to its proxy groups in the region. And that's something that we haven't heard mentioned, I think, from the very early days until, we haven't heard that recently mentioned. So in terms of the messaging, I mean, it's very important for the military to have clear objectives, but also for the American people. And they do go hand in hand. Standing behind that podium before, it's really clear, it's really important that the message and the mission align. And when you don't have that clear message and mission laid out for the military, it can make tactical successes great, like you've seen our military strike over 11,000 targets, but that does not mean that it's going to lead ultimately to maybe the end goal that they wanted, which was a regime change. I mean, the regime is still very much intact. The leadership has changed, but the regime remains. And so you're seeing tactical successes, but potentially strategic failures. And so, they continue to push.
Who gives these people salaries? Who gives these people salaries? Oh my fucking God, dude, we're so cooked. I mean, no, we're so winning. We got corporate speak as main political analysis on Maine, dude.
Saying
Holy
the
shit.
UK's long-term interest requires closer ties with Europe. He also
Rest up, Cuphead, rest up.
To comments from the US President Donald Trump to The Telegraph, saying he was strongly considering pulling the United States out of NATO.
Firstly, NATO is the single most effective military alliance the world has ever seen.
Oh, wait, this is too much in the future. Go back. What the fuck?
This morning, the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, has become the latest world leader to outline their plan for responding to the energy crisis brought about by the US-Israeli war on Iran. An hour earlier, the Australian Prime Minister gave a rare address to the nation as cuts to fuel tax in the country began to bring down petrol prices. And in Germany, gas stations will now only be able to raise pump prices once a day as costs spiral. Here, the Prime Minister has warned that it's inevitable that the war will impact the future of the UK, but reassured the public that his government has put in place the measures to withstand it. Sir Keir Starmer didn't announce any new policies, but pointed to previous measures, including capping energy bills and keeping fuel duty cuts in place until September.
This is not our war. We will not be drawn into the conflict. That is not in our national interest. And the most effective way we can support the cost of living in Britain is to push for de-escalation in the Middle East and a reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, which is such a vital route for energy. To that end, we're exploring each and every diplomatic avenue that is available to us.
See, dead, this is AI. This is just BBC quality, dude. Just BBC quality. 1 minute left of the hype train. Actually, 30 seconds left of the hype train. You're not even going to leave me at a 7. Impressive. Man, leave it to... dude, JD Pondon, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Even the Eurocucks looking him straight in the eyes and saying, nah, man, too much. Too much. I can't do this shit. I can't do this shit. I cannot follow you down into the Gay of Hormuz. This is not for me, baby. Not for me. Everyone's rancor. Thank you for the 10 and being our second Western taxpayer of the day. Big G moment, big G moment, big. Thank you, 6-7. Thank you very much. Everybody say thank you. Fully covered my taxes between yesterday and today. Yes, you have, my friend. Yes, you have.
The Foreign Secretary and the Chancellor have met their counterparts in the G7. The Defence Secretary has been in the Middle East speaking to our partners. And the UK has now brought together 35 nations around our statement of intent to push as one for maritime security across the Gulf. And today I can announce that later this week, the Foreign Secretary will host a meeting that brings those nations together for the first time, where we will assess all viable diplomatic and political measures that we can take to restore freedom of navigation, guarantee the safety of trapped ships and seafarers, and resume the movement of vital commodities. Following that meeting, we will also convene our military planners to look at how we can marshal our capabilities and make the Strait accessible and safe after the fighting has stopped. Because I do have to level with people on this. This will not be easy.
Yes, and it's already over. The prices for LNG that passes through the Strait of Hormuz will never equalize because of the potential threat that every single corporation utilizing it to transport its oil is going to feel. Therefore, insurance prices are going to go up, and of course, salaries for sailors, etc., will be much higher than anywhere else because of this particular war and the potential looming danger of a, splinter group using a flying lawnmower to blow their fucking legs off, right? The only person that can guarantee the safety for the Strait of Hormuz is Iran itself. Therefore, one must negotiate with them in order to return to a semblance of stability when it comes to the movement of oil. I'm just saying stuff that most chatters have already heard in case somebody has not heard this particular pitch, because that is respectfully the correct pitch. That aside, this is beautiful. This is incredible. This is incredible. Okay, so to give you a slight overview of what usually happens with empires in decline and their assistants in empire is usually you run out of booty that you can split amongst your fellow pirates. You're the big pirate, but you still need a lot of smaller pirates, right? So it can go two ways. you can either no longer be able to extract as much pirate booty from the world as before, because turns out like most islands now have like cannons on them. Most islands make their own shit. They don't have to sell it to your invading navy, etc., etc. Many contradictions would lower how much booty you have, and then what does that lead to? The big pirate no longer being able to share with the little pirates. Hell, sometimes even starting to extract from the smaller pirates. That's what we saw with Greenland, and that's what we saw with the forced increase in NATO spending, which was basically extracting an additional tax. Don't even get me started on tariffs, right? So when that usually happens, they start eating each other. The smaller pirates either form groups that become, aggressive. 1 minute left of the hype train. Let's go. Pirate train. Cuckoo. That either become aggressive towards a large pirate ship and start decoupling, and they usually fight against the smaller pirates who still believe that they can get more benefits from the big pirate because they can say, oh, we're not like the other small pirates, we're staying loyal, etc., etc. And that is what Britain has been doing for a very long time. So seeing one of the pirates that decoupled from the European Union, that was like, okay, we're going to be a second America, second small island America here in the European continent. Seeing them to an extent decouple is also very, very interesting. This does not mean like permanent decoupling. This is one of the first decouplings of, pardon my English, why am I so bright? Jesus believes I'm saying the truth. That is going to lead to a very, very intense snowball effect downwards, right? So scenario one is decoupling because there's just less money to be made for everyone. A more interesting one that rarely happens the way what we are seeing right now happening, is when the big pirate does something that shows absolutely everyone that he is not the big pirate anymore that they believed, that they once trusted he was. So massively fumbling a military operation like this, running it for 30 days, losing billions upon billions of dollars, and just fucking up, combined with fucking up the economies of the other pirates. That makes him not only look weak, but weak and unhinged. So completely untrustworthy and weak. So now we have a soup, a concoction of contradiction. Number one, even when the Americans are successful in establishing themselves as the big G that dictates the direction the world needs to take, you're not getting as much rent out of following the Americans. You're not getting as much cash as you did before from following the Americans. Okay? That's the first big contradiction, which is inevitable with all empires. And the second one, my friend, is speeding it up by just fumbling the bag this fucking hard. Okay? Those two will lead even to some of your proudest, the most patriotic and most loyal pirates, such as in this case, I don't know, London, going like, what the fuck, dude? I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. So it's a fascinating time to be alive. This is history in the making. This is no longer like one step towards eventual imperial decline. This is proactive. I can't believe I'm using that word. Proactive American decline. This is fumbling the bag on a historical level. This will be in history books. This will be analyzed in classrooms, because of how absurd it is. Okay? And you will be able to say, during this historical moment, I was in Ugopnik Twitch. Thank you, ATC Locky, for the 2 months. Did not save hype. Thank you for trying, Daddy. Thank you for trying. Have you seen they took the Strait of Hormuz? Hormuz recaptured. Congratulations to Admiral Alfonso de Albuquerque. On this day in 1515, he recaptured Hormuz in the name of the Portuguese crown. May the region forever know peace under the control of the Portuguese crown. Look at how many ships.
To the U.S. and Israeli regimes and their allies, and those countries, they let their soil to be used on attacks on Iranian nation. This threat is close for them.
Holy shit, dude, they're doing tours. No way. Dmitry Laskarkis boarded an Iranian civilian vessel and toured the Strait of Hormuz for approximately 1 hour. There he observed and recorded the presence of nearly 100 oil tankers and cargo ships. By all indication, commercial vessels continue to transit the strait in significant number, but they now do so on terms dictated by the Islamic Republic. We're winning, bro. We're winning so hard. There are people that go on little boats and record how cooked we are. That's how much we're winning. But yeah, back to my rant about imperial decline. I know you're bored of it, but it's impressive. It's just impressive. It's impressive. And to me, as a Marxist, it's fascinating because you just you wake up every morning and you're like, there's no way they're going to, like, to an extent, even like spawn a new problem. It should be a wet dream, but unfortunately people are suffering, so it's not a wet dream. People are dying, people are getting bombed. Over 1 million Lebanese people have been displaced, right? So it's bittersweet. But if you focus on the long term, it will end up being good.
Well, the Prime Minister also announced a new summit with the European Union, saying the UK's long-term interest requires closer ties with Europe. He also responded to comments from the US President Donald Trump to The Telegraph, saying he was strongly considering pulling the United States out of NATO.
Firstly, NATO is the single most effective military alliance the world has ever seen, and it has kept us safe.
Please pull out of NATO. Oh, God, it would be so edgy.
For many decades, and we are fully committed to NATO. Secondly, that whatever the pressure on me and others, whatever the noise, I'm going to act in the British national interest in all the decisions that I make. And that's why I've been absolutely clear that this is not our war, and we're not going to get dragged into it. But I'm equally clear that when it comes to defence and security, and our economic future, we have to have closer ties with Europe. That's why we had the summit last year. This year, as I've just announced, there'll be a further summit. We will make good on the commitments that we put in place last year, but we will also go further in relation to the alignment.
Well, let's speak to our political correspondent, Ian Watson. And Ian, no new policies or measures today, unlike other world leaders have announced after what's been going on in the Middle East. Will that be something that Keir Starmer is likely to be criticised for?
Join my pirate movement because we will get the One Piece together. 50 years pass, you're not even close to getting the One Piece. And yet the main pirate leader keeps telling you to take islands for him. You start saying, no, I'm going to only take islands that are in my interest. I'm going to attack islands whose taking has an intersection of interest between the two categories, two groups. That is what is happening.
Yeah.
To One Piece explain this, I guess.
Undoubtedly will, actually, by the opposition and indeed the media, of course, asking when can they expect to hear details of any package of help for people. He said not once but twice this won't be easy. Once in relation to the Strait of Hormuz, where obviously the oil is not flowing from at the moment, and secondly, more widely in terms of the economic impact of the conflict. So what people wanted to know, I think, including some of the people at the press conference, was when we could expect certain measures to be put in place, for example, help with energy bills. What he wanted to emphasise was that as a result of government policy, energy bills were coming down and staying down for the next 3 months. But he, like the Chancellor Rachel Reeves, tended to suggest that when any help did kick in if the conflict is protracted, that wouldn't happen until the autumn. He said that only 7% of energy use was during the summer. So some people might be worried when energy...
Ukraine has essentially shut down the Russian Black Sea fleet with cheap sea drones. I don't understand how America looked at that and thought they would fare any better against the Iranians along the Strait. Good point. They never thought they would have to fare against the Iranians along the Strait. That was not the bet. The bet was... surprisingly Kremlin-like, surprisingly Moscow-like in the Ukraine war. The bet was that this shit's going to finish in a week or in 3 days. We're going to blow up the head of state and that's it. So yeah, good point, but they never thought it would get this far.
Price cap is lifted in July.
And imagine how much ego was driving them right after a successful operation in Venezuela. Combine all of that, you get the chaos that we are in. From a more meta perspective, from a more systemic analysis, this is in how many times I'm going to say it today. This is an empire in decline that acts as if it is not an empire in decline. Remind you of anyone? Oh yeah, all the empires that collapsed. There you go, Figgy saying the same thing. Americans think it's still the 20th century. It's like the French attacking German machine gun positions in bright-colored uniforms on horses with swords during World War I. Yes. Hilarious, the oil price increase covers the entire Russian price of the war. That alone, no more economic collapse. Literally, a guy can just walk out of a cave and launch a drone. How do you suppress an entire country that can do that for every location, eh?
Some people might be worried when the energy price cap is lifted in July that they will see the bills going up and won't have any immediate help. Obviously, we know that help, when it does come, will be targeted, but again, no more detail on how it will be targeted, what level of household income people should have. And with Australia, for example, cutting its fuel duty, Ireland doing much the same. He was asked directly by the BBC what he was going to do about fuel duty here, and again he said, well, it remains the cut remains in place until September. So again, no guarantee that would be reversed, even though just about everyone expects that if the conflict is protracted, that is exactly what he'd do. So it may well be that Downing Street has a plan to roll out its measures at certain times. It's also facing, of course, local elections in England, national elections for the Scottish and Welsh parliaments. So, there is a lot going on beyond this conflict, and it may well be that he wants to make announcements at specific times. But we didn't get much more detail today. I think what we did get in terms of direction of travel, though, was interestingly, he chose to emphasise having closer relationships with the EU. We knew there was going to be a summit this year in the summer, but he also talked up the prospects for that summit. He said it wouldn't be a stock-taking summit.
Perspective now from former Trump national...
What Bolton thinks Trump will announce tonight on Iran.
Security advisor John Bolton. He was also the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations during the George W. Bush administration. Ambassador, good to see you. So the president can address the nation tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, given that just today he said the United States doesn't need to open the strait in order to end the war, doesn't need to make a deal with Iran to end the war, and that regime change has already happened. What do you expect the president to announce tomorrow night?
I think he's going to announce that
Bolton, the CNN's favorite fucking Gestapo officer.
The victory has been achieved, the war is over, and Americans are coming out. I think he's not doing this on anything related to strategic concerns. He's worried about the price of gasoline at the pump in this country and the political ramifications. We have done a lot of damage to Iran. That's all to the good. It has destabilized the regime. Even Marco Rubio said that yesterday. The conditions are moving in the direction of possible regime change. Apparently, we're going to abandon that as an objective, if it ever was an objective. And I think it's good.
Yes, it was, bitch, and you failed. Eat ass, boy.
Unfortunately, although badly wounded, in a stronger position. They have shown they can close the Strait of Hormuz. They're cooperating with Russia much more closely than before. Russia's providing them intelligence to target American.
Oh, come on. People keep asking me what Trump's speech is going to be about. I think it's basically what we have all been expecting. He will say the Shahada and convert to Islam. Oh, never change, chat. Never change.
Facilities and personnel. And I think the Chinese will be more than happy to invest in Iranian oil.
When the mass design going to be? I got to figure it out, my friend, soon. Maybe this week. Maybe this week. Maybe this week. Maybe this week.
Infrastructure.
We're going to make at least 3-4.
If we walk away from
We're going to brainstorm what they're supposed to be. I don't have the design skills. And then I'm going to sit down with a designer and properly make them.
Yes.
It's like the old Senator George Aiken statement on Vietnam when he suggested for the United States to get out of Vietnam, they should just declare victory and go home. Is that what you think the president is basically doing here, and how much of a victory would
Hype for me as well, man. Super hype. It's going to be so cool.
it be?
Well, I think he's been preparing for it for a long time. He said some weeks ago, it seems like a long time, but he said something like, I'll feel it in my bones when it's time to end the war. This is not strategy. Let's be very clear here. This is somebody who's not thinking in long-term American national interests. He's thinking day to day about his political circumstances. And I think the negative effect it will have with all of our allies, and not just in NATO, but our Pacific allies, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, others who buy so much of their oil from the Gulf, and maybe most of all, the Gulf Arabs, who are now, apparently, as we walk away, to be left to deal with Iran on their own. Much smaller countries, now having seen what Iran can do to intimidate the United States, close the Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz, and dominate traffic in oil. This is going to leave the...
This is incredible. The United States begins an unprovoked war, gets completely cooked, drives the world's oil economy into a slump that has never been seen before. And from Mr. Bolton here, we hear an analysis that says this is bad because Iran is very dangerous. This is setting very dangerous precedents that the Trump administration has allowed, which is countries telling us that we low-key suck. No, the United States has set these precedents by attacking Iran, by throwing Gulf states proverbially and literally under the table, and a lot of its European and Asian allies. Okay? The reason why this is a bad situation to be in for American allies is not because Iran is unhinged, my friend, my mustachioed comrade, okay? It's because America is taking L's. Nobody has forced this upon them, upon you, upon anyone.
Gulf Arabs in a terrible quandary.
Yeah, Richard Haas, the president emeritus of the Council on Foreign Relations, called this a we broke it, you own it strategy. To what extent? I mean, the Europeans and the Asian allies, they don't want to own it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Winston Churchill had the word for this. He's scuttling. He's scuttling out of the area. And I think it's the damage done to American...
Winston Churchill famously said scuttling.
Skedaddling. Credibility. Not to mention his credibility, but let's worry about America's credibility for what we ever do on a long-term basis with anybody again. They're going to say, but what about Trump? I mean, the downside for the United States here, if he does this, is just incalculable.
Based.
And just before I let you go here, though, to be clear, you do believe that Iran, whatever regime is running the country, is severely weakened. What's their capacity to hurt the United States going forward?
Iran is probably weakened because it was hit like fucking crazy. But the image the United States has had, which is its greatest power, will never go back to what it was before. It will never go back to what it was 34 days ago. So even if Iran is occupied tomorrow, the damage they have done from the perspective of allies which host their bases, from the perspective of allies which hope that the Americans take into account their, economy when invading somebody else, allies that neighbor American enemies who, maybe wouldn't like to be hit whenever America wakes up one morning and decides to hit their adversaries that are neighboring their allies, etc., etc., etc. These are real non-fictional precedents that have been set, and the world is already reacting.
Well, it depends on how long it takes them to resume oil sales.
It does feel like a monumental moment. It is an incredibly monumental moment.
To rebuild, and that's what a wounded regime, it's not replaced.
One that we have called out for so long.
As he has said.
Here on the left. At a certain point, we have to realize the United States is just the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. These are edgier sketches than anything Monty Python could ever make. Starts war, crashes economy. Come on. Come on. Soft power was the force multiplier, I remember. Women running out of the house to touch your hair and thinking you could fix any problem. I'm that old. You're fine. Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
And as others have said,
Hassan got banned again? Why? What the hell are you on? Why you get banned, motherfucker? What'd he do this time? Of course it's his fault. I fucking hate Hassan. Fuck that guy. Piece of shit. April Fools. Haha. I'm funny. Or was that an April Fool's joke? Did I just meta your April Fool's joke by pivoting it to doing April Fools? Mods, can we check the validity of this claim on this holiest of holies, April 1st?
It's the same regime. It's the same ideology, just different faces. And they will rebuild their nuclear program, and they will rebuild their ballistic missile program, and they will rebuild their terrorist networks, and they do have the capacity to close the Strait of Hormuz. It's in a finite period of time. We've mowed the lawn. That's great, but the lawn's coming back.
Ambassador John Bolton, thank you for being with us tonight. With us now, retired Army Lieutenant General Karen Gibson. She's a former director of...
He did, and it was anti-Piker April Fools. What other type of April Fools exists?
Intelligence for U.S. Central Command. Also with us, CNN national security analyst Beth Sander and Alex Plitzis. Alice, you're right here with me, so let me just start with you. The president said, again, before he announced that he's giving this speech tomorrow night, we don't know if he's going to say, we're done. But before that tonight, he said the United States can be finished in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
We have hit 1 hour and 30 minutes. And speaking of finishing in 2 or 3 weeks, unless we keep stimulating this beautiful sub count, we will lose it. So in order to hold our gain the way Iran is holding it over the Strait of Hormuz, pay your taxes, especially Western taxpayers. Oil us the fuck out. Let's gamba. Let's get you the program shop discounts. Let's remain adless. Let's make some new masks. Let's have a grand old time. We are now officially a mainstream Twitch channel, even though, it's fucking crazy to say something like this. Let's keep at it so that I can finally do this, okay? So I can do this. I want to do this.
My main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know nobody.
Okay? So, you know what to do, chat. If you want to see me blow up, subscribe. I will be the left's Alex Jones.
What do you think of that timeline?
So I think it makes sense if we're going to pursue the original objectives that the Pentagon and the White House laid out before we had mission creep with the Straits. So the Pentagon...
Mission creep with the Straits is a crazy sentence.
The CENTCOM commander laid out that we'd taken about 13,000 targets. There's about 3,000 left, about 2 to 3 weeks left of bombing in order to accomplish that. And then the president started making some comments that leads me to believe that we could end up walking away, saying, to the allies, we need you to step up, we need you to take responsibility for it. And then today there was a comment that, hey, going after the nuke stuff might be a little bit dangerous. So I think he's leaving himself room to leave.
General, let me ask you, what...
Let's just dig up the nukes that we buried. I mean, not the nukes, but the nuclear material.
Options do you think the president is leaving himself here? Supporters of the president always like to say he's unpredictable. He'll say things like, I'm moving troops in there, I'm going to bomb the oil facilities. On the other hand, I want to make a deal and we might leave without the strait being open there. But what options truly exist tonight?
That's a great question. So certainly we've started to see the movement of some elements of ground forces, principally amphibious marine forces, some rapid reaction army elements, as well as some elite special forces units. So there are a variety of things that they could be used for, but it would not be a wholesale invasion of the Republic of Iran. It might be seizing the Karg oil terminal and restricting Iran's ability to use those facilities to raise money. It might be for seizing some of the islands in the Straits of Hormuz, the littoral area. Those are excellent missions for the U.S. Marines. It's what they're designed to do. All of those missions would come with some element of risk, both politically and operationally. The troops would be subject, not just while they're conducting the seizure.
He does a couple of operations. He says they were a great success, and then he announces the end of the conflict. That's basically the pitch. It's a very likely pitch.
Seizing.
Because he will need some sort of victory to, say mission accomplished and pull out. But let's see.
That terrain, but for the enduring time that they are occupying it, they would probably still be subject to strikes by the remaining missiles and drones that Iran's been using against extra elements. And that would require the application of other things like a combat air patrol from fighters or intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and really tying up a large number of forces for the duration of the time that they are there.
So, Beth, the president said today that regime change has been effected, that there is a new regime, he says. He says the United States is dealing with more rational people. And now he also says that a deal, though, is not necessary. It's irrelevant at this point. How much sense does that make after these 32 days?
Well, I mean, I think Ambassador Bolton pretty much wrapped up that idea of this is obviously not regime change, when you just have different people who have the same ideology. But I think that this whole idea of, where are we right now? Iran does get a vote here. And, one of the things that we're seeing today with the kidnapping.
Unfortunately, how dare they hold sovereignty over their own state and cook us in the near proximity of said state? How dare they?
Of an American journalist in Iraq with
we have replaced one Khamenei with another Khamenei.
GC threats against you.
Unironically, still has same last name and presidential seat. I mean, Ayatollah seat. It's fucking impressive.
Businesses in the Gulf. We've had a number of terrorist groups wrapped up in the region.
We wrapped them up.
And we've had cyber attacks in the United States. So, Iran can still conduct the asymmetric warfare that they were designed and built to fight. And we should expect them to do that, from the Strait to terrorism to cyber.
We are seeing it. It does seem tonight. And Alex, I know this is something that is close to home for you because U.S. journalist Shelley Kittleson has been kidnapped, apparently.
Do you believe if we get a ceasefire, this will make the religious Iranian forces stronger? You mean the IRGC? Of course, because now they will be seen not only as a force of stability, but also a force that has pushed back against an unprovoked imperial war. No matter how much you would like to criticize their form of government, they were people that have acted decisively, patriotically, and saved the country from total and absolute collapse. This will also, of course, allow them to develop further domestic methodology of suppressing dissent. For a lot of time in the future, almost all dissent will be presented as pro-American dissent, even if it is not, because that would work due to the collective trauma brought upon them by this war. So yes, of course. What Americans sometimes don't understand about most other places is that while we do hate our governments very often, if it is our governments versus the American boot, almost everybody chooses their government. Almost everybody. The reason you rarely get to hear about the people who choose their problematic government over the American boot is because those people usually get shot.
In bed.
After a successful American intervention. Get shot, they get arrested, or they are refugees that move to other countries, yes? Because because they're no longer welcome back home by whoever is now installed or allowed to operate in the executive body of the state. So yeah, TLDR. Of course, no matter how problematic your government is, when somebody starts invading you, power ends up coalescing around you because, hey, you might be a bastard, but you're our bastard, to quote one of my favorite and smartest and most ethical people of all time, Lenin. He famously said that.
Baghdad. She's been working in Baghdad. The suspected kidnapper.
He said he may be a bastard, but he's our bastard.
Are affiliates, basically, of Iran.
Famous Lenin quote.
You're friends with her and have been in contact, roughly, with people around the margins here. What do you know?
So it's unclear exactly who took her at this point. It's clear the U.S. government did provide warnings that there was a potential for a kidnapping plot that could have been, conducted by proxy.
Nobody's going to call me out and say, no, that was Henry Kissinger, so that I can then say April Fool's joke. Nobody's going to do that. You guys are fucking slow today. Aye, man.
Forces by Iran, but it's unclear exactly who has her at this point. She's a journalist. She's been operating the region for a long time. Generally, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. The government's been incredibly, responsive to it. She designated me as her emergency point of contact. I believe the family will be taken over shortly, so I don't speak for them or anybody else. But in the interim, the government's really doing a great job.
If it is a proxy, does it show that Iran is trying to maybe spread their tentacles?
Yeah, CNN now really cares about journalists. Very, very sad. No, I hope that everything is okay with this lady, but this is what happens when you start a fucking war, unfortunately. And kidnapping journalists and doing anything to a journalist is exceptionally fucked up, and I will never support it because I would be a fucking hypocrite, which at all times I try not to be. But CNN talking about how fucked up it is for somebody to kidnap journalists while being, all three of the monkeys blind, deaf, and without hearing when it comes to, unironically, 1,000 journalists being killed by Israel is a story of its own.
Well, it's unclear because there could be two different scenarios. This could be in response to actions in Lebanon, or it could be in response to Iran. So it's really unclear, and until they, formally identify who the kidnappers are, they make some demands. We're kind of left guessing at the moment.
Wishing them the best, obviously, here. General, I want to ask you about the president now saying that the Strait of Hormuz, the United States, whether it's open or not, it's not a U.S. problem. So if the United States does effectively end its role in this conflict, the strait's still closed, what happens? How would European nations or Asian allies work to open it?
Iran would let them. Iran would let them. It's in Iran's interest also for the oil to start flowing. They also flow it through there. The big bet by the Americans was that they won't survive with the closed strait for a long enough period of time. But turns out they had good enough logistics to allow ships that they want to allow and stop ships that they want to stop. That's how they would let them.
Well, I would say first, technically, the straits are not closed, but there have been commercial entities that have made the decision that the risk is understandably too high, commercial entities and insurance providers, that the risk is too high to conduct business there. So the decision to reopen the straits is not really a military or a political decision. It is the decision of those commercial risk owners. And what they'll be looking for is a sustained cessation of hostilities, that Iran is no longer threatening not only the straits themselves. It's important. It's not just that narrow transit corridor, but it's their ability to affect any kind of shipping in the Gulf, as well as we've seen, targets on the other side in Bahrain, Qatar, the Emirates, etc. And so they'll be looking for decreased number of strikes, as well as diplomatic indications that lead them to believe that it's not a temporary.
That builds our reserves, and it saves fuel for people who have no choice but to drive. Farmers and miners and tradies who need diesel every single day. And all those shift workers and nurses who do so much for our country.
So this is Al Jazeera with our continuing coverage of the war between the United States, Israel and Iran. A reminder of the latest developments. US President Donald Trump says Iran has asked for a ceasefire. In a social media post, Trump says he will consider the offer once the Strait of Hormuz is open.
Legendary.
Free and clear. Until then, quotes, US forces are blasting Iran into oblivion. Speaking to Al Jazeera, Iranian officials have denied such talks and say they've never asked for a ceasefire. Meanwhile,
I'll be right back, my beautiful chatters. I'll be right back.
Joint US and Israeli strikes continue to bombard Iranian cities, including the capital, Tehran. And Kuwait says its international airport was hit by a drone attack targeting fuel tanks. And a tanker leased by Qatar Energy has been damaged off the coast of Qatar after being hit by a projectile. The International Energy Agency says the current crisis is worse than the oil shocks of the 1970s and the fallout of the Ukraine war combined. Iran has fired missiles towards Israel, injuring at least 25 people. The Israeli ambulance service says a cluster munition missile hit multiple sites in and around Tel Aviv. Health officials say children are among the injured. Nadir Ibrahim reports now from Ramallah in the occupied West Bank.
An Iranian cluster munition shattered a long pause. It had been 19 hours of relative silence from Iran, but at 7 a.m. local time, a fragmenting war had struck nearly a dozen sites in its central region. In Bnei Brak, east of Tel Aviv, several people were injured. The missile caused major damage to homes and buildings. And Israeli media say at least 100 people were forced to evacuate their homes.
The Psychological Flexibility Unit is currently working to provide treatment and evacuation for those suffering from psychological trauma and panic attacks. We're still conducting search operations.
Further attacks from Iran continued on Wednesday morning. At one point, sirens blasted across nearly all of Israel, warning of coordinated attacks from Hezbollah and Iran. Some missiles targeted military bases near Tel Aviv, while others were fired towards southern Israel. Estimates suggest that Hezbollah launched 50 rockets and drones against northern Israel in 24 hours. Yemen's Ansarullah al-Houthi group also fired a missile into southern Israel. The Israeli army says it was intercepted. Tuesday is the eve of the Jewish holiday of Passover, and Israeli sources expect Iran and Hezbollah to increase their pressure on the ground. Politically, as the US president hints at a potential end to the war, the Israeli prime minister seems to be preparing for that scenario as well.
Together, we have transformed Israel into a regional power and in some areas into an international power. We have achieved this thanks to the soldiers and commanders in the reserves and the regular service, thanks to the fallen heroes of Israel, the resilience of the Israeli people, and the bold decisions taken by the Israeli government.
Netanyahu delivered a short speech to the Israeli public, hailing what he called success of the Iran war.
We have broken the power of Iran's terror squads that surrounded us in a choke ring. It's true they still have a limited capacity to threaten us, but they can no longer threaten our existence or launch tens of thousands of ballistic missiles and rockets intended to destroy the cities of Israel.
This is far from ideal for a man who's made a career lobbying against Iran's threats, and a leader who had promised to dismantle the regime and stop these threats for good.
Netanyahu delivered his 1,000 arrogant speech claiming, "I changed the Middle East." There was one word missing from that speech. Almost. You almost changed the Middle East. In the end, it always turns out that it hasn't changed.
Many see Netanyahu's speech as a political move. He managed to secure his coalition government's survival until the end of its term later this year. But if the war stops now, and with the continued Israeli casualties in southern Lebanon, Netanyahu might have a hard time selling this as a victory. And his push to stay in power could take a hit. Nida Ibrahim, Al Jazeera, Ramallah, occupied West Bank, Palestine.
Now, the Israeli media has been airing debates with former members of Israeli intelligence and Israeli think tanks that indicate support for the war as it's being conducted may be wavering. A senior researcher for the Institute for National Security Studies say the latest polls show that fewer Israelis now believe that Israeli strikes will weaken the Iranian regime.
אנחנו יודעים שכשהתחילה המערכה הזו, הייתה תקווה ואמונה גדולה מאוד בציבור שהמערכה הזאת תסתיים בניצחון, כמעט ניצחון מוחלט. אנחנו התחלנו את המערכה כשכמעט 70% מהציבור הישראלי חשב שהמשטר ייפגע קשות. שאנחנו מפרסמים הבוקר, כבר פחות מ-50% מהציבור, שמזכירה שהיה כמעט 70% לפני חודש, כבר פחות מ-50% סבור שהמשטר ייפגע באופן קשה. העורף לא חש כרגע שיש שינוי משמעותי בתמונת המצב.
So back to Nora Day, who's speaking to us from near Ramallah. So Nora, support for the war with Iran was initially high, wasn't it? But it doesn't seem to be so true now.
Yes, there are cracks in the wall, Nick, because, especially because Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, set the bar so high. He promised Israelis that the regime would collapse very soon, that millions of Iranians would heed his call and take to the streets and overthrow the government. Those things have not happened. And the fact is, former officials in the intelligence community and in the army...
Sorry, Chad, I gotta cut the stream short. Something came up. I'm really sorry. I'll initiate the raid. I think it's gonna work out. Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, I gotta go eat, motherfucker! Jump scare. It's Halloween, actually, motherfucker. Okay, that was too easy. It was too easy. It was too cheesy. Too easy and too cheesy. But I got the food. Look at how much fucking. Look at the fucking. Oh my god. Oh my god. So I'm gonna turn off my camera again, yeah? Oh god, I'm gonna eat so much. I'm gonna fucking destroy this shit. Oh yeah, brother. Okay. I was like, damn, I hope everything's okay. You guys are so nice. Fuck you, man. Also, bon appetit. Sorry, I'm already watching Vlog. Runs in screaming. Okay. And play.
Have been...
And Carl Vinger, thank you for the 25 months if I missed it. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
Coming out more and more and saying what Israel is doing with the United States cannot possibly produce a change in government in Iran. It is unrealistic. And the fact that the system has been able to stay intact and in command of the country so far means that simply will not happen. And now you see those cracks in the wall, that support waning. Support for the war itself may still be holding, but the confidence in those goals that Netanyahu proclaimed, in Netanyahu himself, are beginning to shake.
All right, and Nora, Israel has another front, of course, and that is Lebanon. What's the view there?
Well, in Lebanon, it's even more complicated, Nick, because Lebanon was a war of choice. The Israeli prime minister, the Israeli government decided to open that war front 2 days into the war, 3 days into the war with Iran. It did that after the Israeli prime minister said in November 2024 that Hezbollah was finished, and this was supposed to be the last push. But Israel is accumulating losses, and now there are more questions about where that leads. Let's listen in to some of the discussions in the Israeli media.
בסופו של דבר נמצא את עצמנו הרגנו, הרסנו, חיסלנו, מה קרה? כלום לא קרה. ולכן הדרך קדימה היא להגיע לאיראנים עם הסכם. האיראנים זקוקים בנקודת הזמן הזאת לכלכלה בריאה כמו אוויר לנשימת ושרידות השלטון.
So again, the discussions in Israel really focusing on the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu is starting all these wars, but the fact that he cannot finish them decisively, he is not delivering on those promises.
Yeah, the only time the Israeli population is angry when you're not killing enough people. They're like, man, we like wanted this war because we thought you were going to nuke Tehran, but you're not nuking it. So we're going to instead vote for a guy that will nuke it.
And sustaining losses in the meantime are beginning to make a dent in public opinion, certainly raising the frustration among former officials who know, as far as the Israeli public is concerned, what they're talking about, Nick.
Nora, thanks for that. Nora Day reporting. Thank you. Well, Iran has said Israel's campaign in Lebanon could be a hurdle to a deal to end the war. Israeli forces expanding their attacks in southern Lebanon as they continue to occupy the area. Zena Hodder has this now from Beirut.
Israeli forces have invaded southern Lebanon, and Defense Minister Israel Katz says they won't leave, even after the current war with Hezbollah has ended. And while Israel's army says it is not operating against UN peace,
I wonder why the Americans aren't asking Israel whether they will deploy their troops to Iran.
keepers, the Lebanese military, or civilians. It has targeted an army position, killed many civilians, and called on UN forces to avoid combat zones that residents were told to leave. The mandate of the UN Interim Force in Lebanon, or UNIFIL, ends this year after decades, largely due to Israeli pressure.
The Israel Defense Forces are in control of substantial areas immediately north of the Blue Line. The civilian suffering from the hostilities continues to mount. UNIFIL, on the ground carrying out its mission given by this council, has now also suffered fatalities.
The UN is still investigating the incidents, but it says the situation in Lebanon has dangerously deteriorated with the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah. Israel has been trying to empty the area south of the Litani, and Lebanese officials are denouncing Israel's new occupation of the area.
We call upon this council to act immediately and to condemn these statements clearly and explicitly, and to take the necessary measures to compel Israel to halt its incursions and withdraw its forces to internationally recognized borders.
Israel occupied southern Lebanon for 18 years before withdrawing in 2000.
Israel's offensive against Hezbollah has no front line. Israel's airstrikes have again targeted the Lebanese capital. In a letter to the UN Security Council, the government in Beirut asked the international community to secure a clear commitment from Israel to stop all attacks across the country.
Israel says it won't stop, and it is also refusing the Lebanese government's offer to hold direct negotiations. It wants Hezbollah to disarm and is pressuring the state to enforce its decision to ban the group's military wing. The army is reluctant to do so in a time of war, with the defense minister warning.
So a report saying that it's going worse than the 1982 invasion for Israel and Lebanon. Dude, they're getting their fucking tanks blown to fucking shit, dude.
Israel's plans are, quote, a deepening of its aggression against Lebanon. Zena Hodder, Al Jazeera, Beirut.
Explosions have been heard in the Syrian capital of Damascus and surrounding areas. That's according to state TV. The broadcaster says the blasts were likely caused by Israeli air defenses intercepting Iranian missiles. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says the UK will not take part in the war on Iran. It comes as the Daily Telegraph newspaper reports that Donald Trump told it he's considering pulling out of NATO. In an address to the nation, Starmer said the UK is pushing for diplomacy to end the conflict in the Middle East.
This is not our war. We will not be drawn into the conflict. That is not in our national interest. And the most effective way we can support the cost of living in Britain is to push for de-escalation in the Middle East and a reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, which is such a vital route for energy. To that end, we're exploring each and every diplomatic avenue that is available to us.
Let's hear now from Rory Challenge, who has more from London on Keir Starmer's comments regarding NATO.
He started by saying that the UK is and always has been fully committed to NATO, that NATO is the most successful military alliance in history, and that the UK absolutely would not be walking away from it. He went on to say...
Okay, your boy's back. That was, unironically, a 10 out of 10. Holy shit. Holy shit. We had some kufte, okay, some meatballs, I can't explain it, like cabbage salad, but it's like cabbage and carrot and all sorts of shit. Absolutely fantastic. And then we have this this meat paste that's on top of like perfect homemade brown bread, not homemade by us, but by like a store downstairs. And then a 12 out of 10 hot sauce. That's why I'm a bit, so I tried it before with you guys, right? With some tomatoes on top. Insanely good, insanely healthy, insanely fucking filling. Very, very, very good. And now for you, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, a nice little velo. Oh, god damn it. Not Swedish meatballs, our meatballs. Chufte bate chufte. Kufte. Now we got a snooze to finish it off. Oh god, it's so good. And we are reaching the second hour. If you'd like to buy me some meatballs, do consider subscribing. There's 400 people in here and only 2 Western taxpayers. That is beyond embarrassing. So if your name is Todd, Howard, John, Billy, Bob, Chad, Howard, I said twice. So Howard, you better do this. Tim or Paul, it is time to pay your taxes, okay? Let's paint chat purple. As I snooze this shit up, let's fucking trip. By the way, White snooze is going to get banned in France? Why the fuck would you do that? Thank you, Pink Kale, for the beautiful biddies. But come on, give me more. Give me Westerners. Give me your taxes. Oh God, these meatballs aren't free. But you know what I started doing with my snooze? I intentionally leave it in the open so that it dries out, because I recognize one thing about myself, my dear children. It's that I love dry snooze. When it's wet, because my mouth produces a lot of saliva, and I'm talking a lot of saliva. So what I do is I dry it out, and then because my mouth produces a lot of saliva, it immediately gets right, like perfectly sloppy, and then it's incredible. And then it becomes absolutely incredible. Rascal is embarrassing you guys. Rascal is high-key embarrassing you. Thank you for your meatballs, my friend. I'm stuffing your meatballs in my mouth. Now Rascal is officially fucking... holy shit. Rascal is officially the #1 Oiler in chat. That is fucking surreal. That is surreal. Barry, how will you respond to this provocation, Barry? Pizza Famine, how will you respond to this provocation? Cynical Chris, where you at? Where all my fucking Catherine, where are you at? Rascal is officially like sigmaing the fuck out of this. Absolute fucking mad lad. What are you sending me, Barry? Kit Kat. Yeah, I know. We saw it yesterday, my friend. Chris is feeling provoked. Thank you for your taxes, Chris. Thank you for your 5 meatballs. Nom, 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 nom. I'd like to know, but it's still stuck in Basra. You're stuck in Basra? Fucking shit, man. Are you okay? I mean, you're okay. I'm sure you're okay. You're here. Thank you for reminding me. No worries, Chris. I mean, you are cynical. Anyways, yeah, try it out. If you don't like pouches because they're too wet, try drying them. It feels very good. I have a horrible gag reflex, like a very weak gag reflex. Don't tell my boyfriend. So whenever the snooze is too wet, it kind of sticks on my gag, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. So that's why I dry them out. So whatever desk that you usually chill on, or if you don't have a desk, like whatever bed you chill on, you just open it and you leave it for 3 hours. 3-4 hours is enough. More than that, and it becomes too Too dry. They become like clutter, like little bombs inside. Snooze just tobacco in a fucking tea bag? Bro, I'm gonna teabag snooze, motherfuckers. Devakiri, how old are you, my friend? What the hell are you on? You dry them like socks. Yeah, I go out on my balcony and I clip all of them. I clip like 100 snoozes and I dry them. Do you lose flavor though? Yes, you 100% lose flavor, but do you care about flavor in a snooze? That's a crazy thing to care about. And really in a nicotine patch you care about flavors. That's wild. Sometimes to me that's good because I hate most of the flavors. So this just neutralizes them and I just get woo. Unfortunately, they don't sell neutral ones here. I don't remember where I was. I think I was in Sweden. I saw some neutral ones. That was amazeballs. That was most excellent, my friend. Most excellent. I think I remember it in school. No, Zins didn't exist when you were in school unless you're Scandinavian. This is not chewing tobacco, my friend. Anyways, thank you to Rascal and Cynical Chris for buying me my meatballs. Let us continue.
That there has been huge amounts of pressure on himself, of course, referring to the barbs that Donald Trump has been throwing his way, saying that he's no Winston Churchill recently. He said that despite the pressure, despite the noise,
it doesn't give me much like reassurance, like how long is this relief going to be before they up it again, you know? So it gives some sort of some certainty that okay, it's not going to be as bad, but you know.
They were called Squall and existed in the 80s. Somebody get me a Squall. Wow, Squall is an American brand of smokeless tobacco first produced in the U.S. Smokeless Tobacco Company in 1934. Yeah, but my love, Polaris, this is just chewing tobacco, brother. The reason this is better is because it's just nicotine. It's not tobacco. It's like a vodka from nicotine. You make the tobacco wet and then you squeeze it out and drop it into salt and then you package the salt and you take them.
Reports from New Delhi.
They did have little tea bag ones. Oh, okay. No, you're fine. Thank you. I remember trying chewing tobacco in the States. I was like, man, I'm going to be so cool. I was 19 living with a bunch of Dominicans. And I almost passed the fuck out. I was like, whoa, people do this on the regular? And the guy was like, spit. I'm like, man, we're in America. Going to get arrested. People don't spit here. Old Yugo. Thinking America was civilization. Incredible.
We all know that India is the world's most populous nation, but just how many Indian citizens are there? UN estimates suggest 1.4 billion, but the government is now trying to get an exact number. It's why it's called this census a gigantic exercise of national importance. 3 million officials will travel the length and breadth of the country. It'll cost a whopping $1.25 billion. This will be the first digital census in India's history. Officials will be armed with smartphones to log details of millions of Indians. Also, for the first time, long-term live-in relationships will be registered as married couples. In the first 15 days of April, people can register themselves online as well. These are the details you'll need to fill: the number of people living in a house, their marital status, what kind of access to amenities they have like water, sanitation.
Meanwhile, lawyers for the man accused of
My 3 favorite people on the internet. Let's check out what they have to say about the Kirk.
killing Charlie Kirk are pushing to delay an upcoming trial hearing as new details come out surrounding the ballistics report.
Claudia Cowan joins us now with the latest. Good morning, Claudia.
Good morning, Lawrence and Brian, and also to you, Rachel. Nearly 7 months after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, lawyers for his accused killer are attempting to cast doubt on a critical piece of evidence, the bullet that killed the conservative icon. In a new defense filing, attorneys for Tyler Robinson say an ATF summary report, quote, was
They're saying the French did it through an Egyptian connect in service to Israel.
unable to identify the bullet recovered at autopsy to the rifle allegedly tied to Mr. Robinson. But prosecutors say that report is inconclusive and doesn't rule out a ballistics match to the rifle Robinson allegedly used or to any other firearm.
The examiners were not able to find enough detail on the fragments to be able to make a determination as to whether or not they can tie the bullet to the rifle.
Remember that one guy that screamed, "It's me, I did it," and it was an old guy, so they arrested him? But like his reaction time was like 5 seconds. Charlie Kirk got killed. He was immediately like, "It's me, I did it." Then they arrested him. Then they let him go. But then they found child porn on some of his devices, and then they arrested him again. Remember that guy? Everybody forgets about that guy. That's the most insane story I've ever heard in my life. Why the fuck did that guy do that? Like, what?
Law enforcement sources tell Fox that when the bullet hit Kirk,
All of that
it
but-
struck bone and broke apart, making
The fuck? You don't know about that?
conclusive analysis almost impossible.
The jury needs to hear that.
I wish this was an April Fool's joke. No, it's not. It's not. The ancient laws about April Fools is you have to say it's April Fool's if somebody tells you it's April Fool's. There wasn't. Anaconda, you don't know either? Yeah.
There were these fragments found. They'll show them those fragments that were recovered from the victim.
Some are saying that it's old Charlie Kirk that time traveled back in time to restart the cycle.
Or in the area where the victim was at, and that they were unable to match it because there wasn't enough material left to conclusively match it to a firearm.
Testing did confirm that the shell casing found at the scene matched the suspected murder weapon. The defense is also asking for at least 6 more months to review thousands of files and hours of video before a preliminary hearing. Now, that hearing is scheduled for May 18th, but the defense argues keeping that date would violate Tyler Robinson's right to a fair trial. The prosecution says it will oppose any further delay, and the judge will issue his ruling at the next court hearing in Provo, Utah on April 17th. Back to you, New York.
All right, thanks so much, Claudia. Appreciate
All right, so Keir Starmer, UK Prime Minister, and Anthony Albanese, the Australian Prime Minister, are out there freaking everybody out because they are absolutely freaked out. Europe and Asia are basically moving into like redos of COVID lockdowns at this point when it comes to energy usage. We, because we're a little bit down the pipeline, haven't quite started to experience what they're experiencing now. But let's roll Keir Starmer just to get a sense of, oh, this is getting real.
It is now clear that the impact of
So there you go. I'm not lying. Man accused of falsely confessing to killing Charlie Kirk faces up to 15-year sentence. George Zinnmeister, 71, further admitted to possessing child sexual abuse material and pleaded no contest to allegations. A man accused of trying to thwart authorities investigating Charlie Kirk's killing by falsely confessing to the deadly shooting faces up to 15 years in prison after pleading no contest. George Zinn all but concluded at a court hearing on Thursday in Provo, Utah, about 5 miles away from the college campus where the Turning Point USA executive director was fatally shot. So there you go. I'm not fucking lying. I'm not lying! Is he related to Howard Zinn? He's related to the Zinn in my mouth right now.
this war will affect the future of our country. So today I want to reassure the British people that no matter how fierce this storm, we are well placed to weather it, and that we have a long-term plan to emerge from it a stronger and more secure nation.
We are decoupling from the United States. Everyone will learn Mandarin.
First, let me say once again,
He really felt proud after that fucking pun. Because that was a pun, dude.
this is not our war. We will not be drawn into the conflict. That is not in our national interest. And the most effective way we can support the cost of living.
He's accepting Islam.
in Britain is to push for de-escalation in the Middle East and a reopening of the Strait of Hormuz.
And so that comes after the kind of conservative prime minister of Italy, Meloni, said that the U.S. can't, use its bases or fly over for the war effort, and the left.
Literally what I said the other day on fucking Twitter. On Twitter, I've been screaming about this for years. If the left in Europe refuses to capitalize on American decline by pushing for decoupling from the U.S. as a core foreign policy pitch on their agenda, then the right eventually will. It's a perfect popular argument to couple with class-conscious politics, European sovereignty, and independent path. It ticks all the principled and practical boxes and will only grow in popularity. I've been screaming for this so long, I can't wait for it to become a mainstream talking point. Thank you for continuing your gift from Rascal Shaz. The nicest thing anyone can do in chat is oil, and the second nicest is to continue sharing that oil, because as we all know, as long as our Hormuz is plugged, there's not going to be a lot of oil for anybody. So spread that shit around.
Left-wing government of Spain has said the same.
Hassan read that tweet on stream yesterday. I have been seen by the Ayatollah of Twitch. Alhamdulillah. Wait, did he like it? Did he like it? I'm splitting with Hassan if he didn't like it. Did he repost it? He reposted it. Okay. I still serve the Ayatollah. Ayatollah Hassan, I still serve you, sir. Trads of TikTok also. Thank you. I serve you. We must all pledge allegiance to the Ayatollah. Thank you all. Hail Calcifier. Thank you very much. Dr. Jihad. Thank you very much. Deva Kitty, also thank you for continuing your gift sub. Let's go. Hype train. Let's all continue your gift sub. Let's truly say thank you to people like Barry, like Rascal, like Anaconda, like Catherine with the huge cock. All the Oilers of, I don't think so. Jesus said, how can I forget? I don't think so. But continuing a sub, you're appreciating them. You're not letting them hold up the entirety of the stream. You can make me sleep well at night because I don't only depend on Oilers. It's just a base thing to do, Oil that Hormuzi up real good. Thank you, Deva Kitty.
Anthony Albanese in Australia also warning his country that, things are getting rough. Let's roll A10.
Making sure that we are prepared so that if the global situation gets worse and our fuel supplies are seriously disrupted over the long term, we can coordinate.
I'm sorry, but certain Australian accents are so over the top, it always looks like they're doing a racist sketch. Am I the only one that feels that way? Usually I like the Australian accent, but some Australian accents are like, come on, are you trying to do some sort of bigoted interpretation of a person from the East, man? That's an Albanian accent. Wait a minute, no, the masked guy. Yo, what's up, my man? Careful, brother. Very nice to see you. Somebody give GECATA 96 a sub. That's actually an IRL friend. That's Krassi.
The next
absolutely Krassi.
Steps together.
He's a fucking legend.
Today we cut the fuel excise in half.
Half of the stories I've given you of me being somewhere in some fucking house in the middle of nature getting absolutely destroyed were with this guy, with Gets at the 96, or as you guys would call it, Gek at the 96. Thank you, Barry, for giving him 6 months. Absolutely legendary. There you go, Getzata. Now you have to be here for the next 6 months, where you inadvertently, accidentally release who I am. Unless you're a different Getza, that would be crazy. Thank you, Barry, for the 5. Thank you very much, Barry. Barry waking up from an oil slumber. Let's fucking go. Hype train, go true fucking true. But no, Getza is a comrade. He is a comrade. Getza was one of the people that, by himself found out what I do. Like, I didn't even have to tell him. He first found Second Thought. Second Thought helped him become a socialist. And then he started listening to this deprogram thing. And then while listening to this deprogram thing, he was like, wait, I know that voice. I know that voice. What the fuck? I know that voice. And then he hits me up at a bar. He's like, yo, you said you have like a side gig. Does your side gig maybe mean screaming about communism on the internet? And I was like, no. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The problem with having the most original accent on the planet. That's what it is. I have the most original accent on planet Earth. No, Getzata finding out who I am is a great blessing. Because he is a very principled comrade.
Of stuff
Yes, that is comrade, not comrade.
that is showing up at your petrol station. For our truckies, we have cut the heavy vehicle
Come on, this can be a real accent to Pichku Martin. Listen to this.
road user charge to zero. Both these measures will be in place for the next 3 months. And if you're hitting the road, don't take more fuel than you need. Just fill up like you normally would. Think of others in your community, in the bush, and
Say thank you to the United States of America for contributing to our, for not having enough oil, to not having enough fuel to explore the beautiful bushes of Australia. My leftist pipeline was Freda, Hassan, Second Thought, the program, Hugo, and then somehow back to Freda. Legendary. I closed that loop. I close that loop with The Reaction Podcast, ! Reaction, to find out more about this new show. No Sedavita emote. Oh my God, I need a Sedavita emote. Oh my God, thank you for reminding me. Sedavita.
in critical
We
industries.
need a Sedavita emote.
And over coming weeks, if you can switch to catching the train or bus or tram to work, do so. That builds our reserves and it saves fuel for people who have no choice but to drive.
Sedavita.
And all those shift workers and nurses who do so much for our country. The months ahead may not be easy. I want to be upfront about that.
All right, Emily, so the entire world is rationing fuel now.
I don't see what could go wrong.
Doesn't seem great. So there was also a related development.
Which, sorry, I just
go ahead.
like that affects the cost of everything. Nobody
Yes.
needs me to say that, but that affects the cost
And
of
the-
absolutely everything.
And we're moving from the cost of things to the existence of things.
Scarcity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is bleak. And again, for what? 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 What?
I was trying to check something and then it started fucking glitching out. Haha! Rascal, another 5. I want more people continuing their subs, not the glorious overlords like Rascal and Barry and Anaconda and shit hitting us. Come on. Show true solidarity to our Engels in chat. Let's go. Still, I'm very grateful, but come on.
And this is where I think Israel does not quite recognize what it's gotten itself into. Because
I feel like my microphone is too sensitive today. Let me lower the nerve endings on my microphone. Okay, this should be better. 1, 2, 3. Is this better? I'm rubbing it. Does it have enough nerve? Okay, very bad bit. I apologize. It's a little loud. Now it's better, right? Now it's better. Is it better, Sean Shank? Now it's better, or it's not as good. I should change it again. Son of a bichuri. What is this? What is this you're sending me? 3 years ago, on April Fool's, I had the most well-timed abortion the world has ever seen. Fucking wow. Was this like a thing 3 years ago? I don't remember. Going crassy on April Fool's. Imagine if I didn't know Getza. That was just like an April Fool's to get you to subscribe. Ha ha ha. No, I do know Getza.
the publics in Australia, in Asia, in South America, in the UK, in Europe, and when it hits us in the United States, are going to understand that whether you want to blame Trump for going along with it or not, Israel wanted this war. Israel very clearly and publicly and for decades wanted this war. They got it. We're all paying for it. So last night, AOC met with DSA to go over their kind of re-endorsement process. It's very
pretty crazy when you embolden a unsinkable ship carrier in the Middle East to such an extent that they then take sometimes even the initiative on imperial warfare. It can blow back even stronger in your face than when you are the one making decisions. Crazy how that can sometimes happen. Wow.
Cool democratic process that they have.
Pretty
And
crassy.
what emerged from it
Crassy
are
moment.
two significant
Crassy
shifts.
moment.
One, she said she would, in the future, always vote against what's known as the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, which says that any criticism of Israel is also then, therefore, anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
And she said, no, I will vote against that. That should not be enshrined.
Yes, saying the oil prices are too high is anti-Semitic. Not being able to afford chicken nuggets is anti-Semitic. I'm trying to stop World War III. The Iran war is a disaster. What is my guy Alex Jones doing? Oh my God. Exclusive. Learn why Tucker Carlson is on one-man suicide mission against the New World Order. Learn why Tucker Carlson is on a one-man suicide mission against the New World Order and has the biggest balls in any journalist in the last 100 years. Tucker Carlson's new documentary exposing Netanyahu strikes at the heart of the globalist deep state and is the most dangerous subject you could ever cover. Is he saying I said it first? He's like, I said it first, but it's okay, Tucker. You can jump on my grind station. 1 minute left of the hype train. Let's get this shit up because you're embarrassing me in front of my IRL friend, okay? I keep telling my IRL friend I'm somewhat of a big deal, okay? And he's here now and he's like, what? Level 5 hype train. I'm going to tell everybody that you Gopnik is actually a little bitch. You know?
Probably heard a lot about the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, BB, on this show and elsewhere.
Let's go.
He's
I
the
don't
guy
think
who's always
so.
at the White House working to suck the United States
Thank
into
you.
some war of conquest on behalf of his country. But what you may not know is that the charges against Netanyahu are real. Corruption charges. They tell you a lot about him. What exactly do you know about this man who's apparently in charge of the United States? Well, we are now streaming the BB Files.
Tucker is balls to the walls. He's got elephant testicles. And that's why I've got him on my X account at the top, because that's what I admire. He is 100.
Father Nuvu, you are balls to the walls. That's why I got you in my chat with that fiver. Let's go.
100% all in, and he told me, and so did Charlie Kirk, stuff I haven't really gotten into, about the things going on in the White House. And during the campaign, and for the first 3-4 months, Tucker had the ear. Charlie Kirk had it right up till he was killed. Kirk was the last guy, and Trump listened to him more than anybody. And now you see what's happened since he was killed, and since Musk was driven out. So this is just so historic. The human with the biggest testicles in the media on this planet is Tucker Carlson.
They call me the left-wing Alex Jones because I'm the only one who talks about testicles and circumcision on the left as he does on the right. Oh my God.
See, I know
Crazy uncircumcised behavior.
Tucker Carlson behind the scenes. And he's pretty much what you get publicly, but way more hardcore. And I know the inside baseball, the threats from Netanyahu against him last year and more. I was actually out of his place while these things were happening.
It's a 2-year-old documentary called The BB Files.
For a few days, I'll leave it at that. And I just admire what he's doing because Netanyahu is...
My guy is pivoting so good. Oh, come on. He's got a good nose. He's a cockroach, dude. My boy, Alex Jones, is such a perfect cockroach, fucking adapting to the situation. Very nice.
In control of our foreign policy. In fact, I just sent you guys a CNN article, if you print that for me. CNN, and they're reporting it. Netanyahu says, I'm going to keep...
I mean, after Tucker Carlson becomes president, he will need somebody that, is a voice for the many. And many thought that maybe it's going to be Nick Fuentesino, okay? But no. How can Tucker Carlson give a Mexican gay boy the job of being the voice of the American white man? No, it needs to be the original white man, the original Yakubian soldier, the original Yakubian king, okay? Making the frogs gay, Alex Jones. Anaconda, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Slavic domination in chat. Let's fucking go. Thank you for your Western tax payment. Train go choo-choo motherfucking choo, okay? Our new intellectual giant, Alex Jones, is so back.
No matter what Trump does. So there can't be a peace deal. And all their mouthpieces say, we can't stop until the regime's gone because they're going to close the Strait of Hormuz. We can't ever let them do it again. Because Tucker, already in my summation, has the biggest huevos of any.
He said testicles so many times, he now had to say it in a different language. Decades ago, there was a drama in Turkish politics where one politician accused another of being uncircumcised, so the other guy showed him his unhooded peanuts. Good old days. Fucking incredible. Turkey is the most normal place in the world.
Any journalist in the world. And I've known Tucker for 14 years. I know the inside baseball. He's confided in me in person in great detail. And what you see is who he is, but it's more intense.
Slavic domination, I said. This is turning into proper S&M. Oh my fucking god, dude. Okay, officially not embarrassed in front of my IRL friend. Yo, Getza, you should come in more often. I will use you as a perfect reason to motivate the Oilers to oil. Thank you very much, Anaconda. Seriously. Everybody, W Anaconda in chat, say thank you very much.
So
you got at least 5 beers from me, brother. At least 5 beers from me.
Serve this country.
5 beers for my brother.
Running it were. He still believes we're the good guys.
Last time we hung out with Getza, I was doing the Trump accent too much. I was saying everything like, brother, we gotta stay up. He's like, no, I'm going to bed. It's 3 a.m. I'm like, brother, we must have all the beers in the world. And he's like, no, I'm leaving. And then he left to play some board games because I kept screaming at 3 a.m. like, we gotta stay, brother. This is not okay. He's like, yeah, I'm fucking leaving. Fuck this. I am leaving. There it is, the Trump impression. Went on for like 30 minutes. Son of a bitch. So you can know from this very close friend of mine that I am the way I am in chat. I am IRL. Like Ugopnik used to be a character. He no longer is. Ugopnik has killed my IRL version, and this is just who I am. I walk around with the mask everywhere. The same for real. Stream is always amazing. Today it's even better and so funny. I'm glad. I'm the funniest guy. They say I'm the funniest man.
People are. America's great. Culture's great. What's left of it can really be rekindled and really save the world. As Elon Musk has said, America is the central pillar to the West, and the West will save the world. As Jim Morrison said, the West is the best, and he'll do the rest. So,
give me more. Come on. The West is the best.
Tucker.
Hey, for the biddies, guys.
Grew up believing all this when he's a teenager. 18 out of
Of
high
course,
school.
because his dad was in the fucking ABC agency, man. We are destroying the world economy. So we will respond to this by U.S. counterterror officials plan Antifa summit. It's an Antifa summer, guys. The Trump administration is organizing an international summit focused on countering the left-wing movement Antifa and other groups, 3 sources familiar with the matter said. An effort that highlights the shift in the U.S. government's counterterrorism priorities over the past year. The conference, tentatively planned for June or July, will convene officials from various nations to discuss. From various nations. We need the Germans. They're very good at fighting anti-fascists. They will help us. Battling Antifa and encourage intelligence sharing, said the sources who requested anonymity as they were not authorized to speak to the media. Antifa is a terrorism. All the Antifas are a terrorism. Ay. Thank you, Horse Beef. 27 months, big man. Let's go. Very good to see you, brother. Very good to see you. Long time no see, but I see you continue those subs, man. You're a fucking legend. Thank you, Shaz. Thank you, Shaz, as well for the gifty. You know, last time a big world power was an anti-Bolshevik pact and ended up with a red banner over the Reichstag. Yeah. Americans made Antifa a bit cringe. Don't say it out loud. All of us non-Americans kind of think it, but don't say it out loud. Yeah, I remember that era. Anarchistly, I think this war isn't good, but here's an essay on why the regime is awful. Rascal again with the 5. Absolute savage. Absolute savage moment, okay? Savage. Strong savage. Thank you.
Down to live with the Contras for a year.
Been off Twitch the last few months. Love the new podcast, by the way. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. Exclamation point reaction.
I'm talking like right on the edge of combat, all of it.
Our next guest is going to be Alex Jones. We got him for episode 6. I can't believe we got him. He was like, reaction? I'm a reactionary. Oh, fuck you, son of a bitch. So close. It didn't autoplay. You little cunt. You little fucking bitch boy. I love you, Barry. I'm sorry for calling you those words. It didn't autoplay, so it's not a win. It is not a win. It is not a win. It did not autoplay.
With the CIA, yeah. Not officially with it then, but, you know. And
Doesn't count.
he was buddies with Joe Kent, CIA, all this other stuff, Commando, Levanteurs, wife blown up, whole 9 yards. And 14 years ago, he finally learned about Building 7 because his younger kids showed it to him. He came and told me this. He wanted to come and meet me and apologize. He said, I'll never support these evil wars again, and I was wrong, and I'm going to change. And he said, I just wanted to come to you because you're the kind of like the Moses of this thing. That's really what he said here at this studio. And he said some of it on air.
I'm the one who built Tucker Carlson the way he is. Everything starts from Alex Jones. Alex Jones is the Moses, the Jesus Christ, the father of the Holy Trinity of the right wing, okay? I'm serious. No, he is. The metaphoric and real pivot, I guess, in the last 10 years of the American right was to make Alex Jones sound normal. And then we wonder why they do shit that makes no fucking sense and still support the establishment.
And he said, I just want you to know. I was like, okay, well, that's fine, great. He goes, I called you a liar and a bad person. You were right about it all, and I apologize. I saw your prediction on 11. I said, great, that's wonderful.
Dave Legend with the raid. Thank you, Dave, you big G, exclamation point. Dave, raid Dave right now. Follow Dave right now. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, Raiders. You're entering while we are riding a hype train. Thank you very much, and we're covering Alex Jonesy, my spiritual father, okay? When I eventually go bald, I want to look as good as this man. This is the main disagreement I have with chat. They call me a fascist apologist for saying that Alex Jones actually, for his age, kind of looks good. He kind of looks good. He kind of looks good. Sorry, not sorry. Kind of decent. Kind of decent. Please, mods, can we get a shout out to Dave? Everybody give Dave a follow. Seriously, very good friend of the show and OG. I agree, right? But he's so red. I will now make this sound like you're racist somehow. He is bisexual. Chunky build, solid unit. Yeah, right. I love how now you're pivoting. Now you're pivoting.
And
I do not agree. I've seen much better. I mean, Candace Owens is the hottest right winger, but we're talking boys here, okay? We're talking boys. Yuck, as a middle-aged cis-het woman, I disagree. Come on, Reality Bites. Come on. But could he outdrink you? He is red enough. I think he might be able to. Nah, who are we kidding? April Fool's joke. He might not be able. Nah. Getza, if you're still here, do you think I can outdrink Alex Jones? Is there anyone I cannot outdrink, Getza? Is there anyone I cannot outdrink? Respectfully. And this is real, recognized real. Come on. Because they don't know me from IRL. Never seen Alex Jones drink. How much can I drink from 1 to 10, Alex Getza? How much can I drink from 1 to 10? How much can I take? Like, did you see him on the Tim Pool show? Yeah, but I will never look like that, except that one time when I fell under the table. But that's different.
Tucker is now...
Thank you for the level 10 hype train and not embarrassing me in front of my IRL friends. I'd say about 7, 8 out of 10. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you oh my God. Oh my God. Ban this man right now. Ban him from chat for being a Weasley little liar, dude. A Weasley little liar, dude. God damn it, man. Weasley little liar, dude. I'm kidding. I guess 7, 8 is fine.
100% committed. The last time I was on a show in Florida.
Son of a bitch. Never
when I was
been
on
this
it again in
embarrassed in my
Maine, so I
life.
guess it was the time before last. It was like a year ago. And man, he was getting calls, threats from Netanyahu, all of it while I'm at his
Look how happy he is. Oh my God. Look how happy he is.
house for 2 days. And was in Florida, and he was talking to me about it. We had lunch, dinner. He's just, oh my God! So all I'm trying to do is all the numbers show. It'll cause the Strait of Hormuz to close. It'll Trump had just gotten in. It'll kill the Trump recovery. Trump's really listening to me. I think we've stopped it for now. Vance is on board. He's stopping it. Now you see Vance being for it. Well, once it's done, I mean, he got on board just like the chairman of the Joint Chiefs was against this. But once it happens, they signed on to do what the president says. So I mean, I even understand that. And he told me a lot of the inside baseball. And obviously, Joe Kent's been talking to us and things. And to Harrison, you'll see some stuff on that very soon. Big movement there. And our information about a month before Kirk was killed that Israel might kill Kirk. That Kirk was concerned. And you saw me.
Dude, this man is a cockroach. He's absolutely fucking impressive. He's absolutely impressive. So he's doing the Candace Owens bit. Okay, Israel, French, Egyptian, Kirk assassination. He's doing the Tucker is actually super based, but he's based because I converted him into being based. And he's pivoting on time for the new election because he sees just how unpopular the invasion of Iran was. Amazing. Amazing. The Europeans are pivoting on the United States of America. Some Gulf countries are pivoting on the United States of America. Even my boy, Alex Jones, is pivoting on the current direction. You gotta love to see it. You gotta love seeing it when the clowns come out and they're like, man, I don't like this, bruv. What are the chances of Alex Jones joining ACP? You never know. He did this with Epstein files too. Yeah, you gotta recognize a man's ability to slide like a snake between rocks.
Day one say, let's look and see first. Now the evidence is swinging towards that. But we're always way ahead of the curve here. I'll just leave it at that.
There you go. He pivots it as like we are the original thinkers. We are the right wing's left wing. We are too right too early.
And there are major factions in the government that are just sane. Just like Tucker's new documentary has, and this has been in the news, every former Israeli intelligence chief that's living has gone public in Israel and said this is insane and it's where it's going. And in the end, this will probably get Israel destroyed. And that Netanyahu's insane. And almost all the generals, former, because you can't when you're current, have said the same thing. Tucker interviews a bunch of them. That's what he was in Israel doing. So he is risking his life. You can guarantee it. And Tucker told me this years ago. He says, I don't care. I'm going for broke. Because I've been invited to go to Russia and interview Putin and Lavrov and all them.
I love how much he's glazing, but at the same time, he's like, but come on. It starts for me, bro. It started for me, bro. He's amazing, but it started for me, bro. Yeah. 10 out of 10, dude. Interview who, by the way?
Russia and interview Putin and Lavrov and all them.
Lavrov. famous Russian foreign minister, Lavrov.
Official letterhead.
Lavrov. I love Lavrov.
From the Kremlin, Putin's signature on it. I didn't make a big deal about it, really even talk about it much. But strategically, I wasn't scared to.
I have to say, it would be incredible to see an Alex Jones Putin interview. That would actually be like 10 out of 10.
Go do it. But
Just two bold bros going on rants about extremely niche historical moments. But like Alex would have a hard time following. Because Putin would not pivot to fucking space alien, whatever.
But I wanted to, try to get the war to stop in Ukraine,
Lavatorov.
but I was just like, when you do that, it allows the intelligence agencies and the operatives they have that are bad in them to say, we believe they're a foreign agent, and then they can kill you and stuff. And I believe strategically being able to stay on air and cover all this was the smarter move. It was just too much of a roll of the dice. I'm not scared of dying. I just gut level strategically didn't do it. Not Tucker. He doesn't really talk about this, but I confirmed it. They tried to fly a drone into his hotel room and kill him while he was there. And they partially shot it down so it crashed into the hotel next to him. Then they tried to blow his car up in the parking garage. So, they kill American journalists, Gonzalo Lira, others. I'm on the official hit list of the Ukrainians to be killed. So I'm just like, here's the deal. I will risk my life, and I'll go out and protest, and I'll go out and do things. But I don't roll the dice because I strategically, because there's not enough people now that have as much knowledge as
Oh my God! Tucker is incredibly brave for going to all of these places, doing all of these interviews. He's a true truth speaker. But I am the man in the shadows. Okay, I will never risk my life actually going in these places because they might actually kill me. Okay, Tucker is my on-the-spot reporter. But me, Alex Jones, I am the real Rupert Murdoch in the background, okay? Tucker is doing great work, but you got to understand, the reason I'm not like Tucker is because I'm playing the meta. I am playing the meta from the background. I am pulling all the strings. I am too important to be risked. Tucker, very important, but not as important. Not as important. I set the narrative, and he goes out and researches and proves the narrative. Thank you, Tucker, for your on-the-ground work. That's directly what he's saying. This is incredible. Whoever sent me this link, God bless you.
We're starting to get there.
I never thought I would spend this much time covering Alex Jones. This is awesome.
I understand as a brain trust, I've got to be strategic. Tucker is balls to...
If Tucker is Stalin, Alex Jones is Beria. No, he is saying the opposite. He is saying that he is Stalin and Tucker Carlson is Beria.
The walls. He's got elephant testicles. And that's why I've got him on my X account at the top, because that's what I admire. He is 100% all in.
Tim Pool is Lenin.
And he told me. And so did Charlie Kirk, stuff I haven't really gotten into about the things going on in the White House. And during the campaign, and for the first 3-4 months, Tucker had the ear. Charlie Kirk had it right up till he was killed. Kirk was the last guy, and Trump listened to him more than anybody. And now you see what's happened since he was killed. And since Musk was driven out. So this is just so historic. So here's a promo for the documentary. Here it is.
Well, you probably heard a lot about the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, Bibi, on this show and elsewhere. He's the guy who's always at the White House working to suck the United States into some war of conquest on behalf of his country. But what you may not know is that the charges against Netanyahu are real. Corruption charges.
Let me take a very quick piss.
Tell you a lot about him. What exactly do you know about this man who's apparently in charge of the United States? Well, we are now streaming The Bibi Files. It's a documentary that pulls back the curtain on Benjamin Netanyahu. This film traces the rise of the longest-serving prime minister in the history of Israel and the corruption cases surrounding him. Hear from former staff and Israeli insiders describing what Benjamin Netanyahu is really like, and see leaked interrogation footage from his corruption investigations. Video that you were not meant to see and that they definitely don't want you to see. The Bibi Files, it offers a rare look inside Israel's power structure and the man whose decisions have once again drawn our country into another war, a big war. You can stream it now only at tuckercarlson.com.
Unbelievable guts. And now it's out in the open. Israel says, we're not stopping the war. Trump, you're not stopping it. Trump's publicly said, don't blow up their power plants. They're blowing them all up. Because they know the Iranian psychology. They will double down. They will keep the strait closed. Oil's now at $110 a gallon. That continues even a few more weeks. It's irreparable, the chain reaction, okay? Of the fertilizer and the chemicals and the oil and the natural gas. I mean, this is so sad because Trump is a good man and he's done so much good. And I have a
3 out of 10.
guest in the third hour about that. We
Ate
should
too much spicy food. The piss was spicy.
all just pray that God open Trump's eyes and those around him. Give Trump a Saul of Tarsus moment on the road to Damascus, whatever. Just pray that God and the Holy Spirit forcefully and lovingly go in there and get control of Trump.
I love his beat, dude. Let's go again.
Forcefully and lovingly go in there and get control of Trump.
Fuck, it's amazing, dude. Incredible. Somebody get me his fucking soundtrack guy's number, dude.
Let me do this. The folks at Bigley, about 7-8 months ago, came out with this top-of-the-line Faraday cage.
Oh, yeah. Wait, we got to listen to the ad. What's the ad for? So Faraday cage. Oh, so something that like makes you invisible when against the lizards who listen to you.
Backpack with all these special pockets, super high quality.
You need to cover him on the Reaction podcast. Dude, that's going to be 5 episodes. Absolutely.
Previously bought a bag for myself personally like this, a similar brand, for $500. The problem was they only got 500 of these. Well, guess what? They got a couple thousand of them finally in. It took 7-8 months. It's a $600 value, just the bag, for $249. But guess what comes in it? America First Faraday bag, America First tactical trench knife. It's badass. America First t-shirt, MK Ultra Atomic Defense supplements, Shilajit gummies, Shilajit capsules, Irish sea moss capsules, Warcry premium product, and more. And VIP members get it for $199. Also, as you can now read in the
$199. The grift is so powerful.
newspapers, the Texas receiver is saying he's not going to pay the rent or the bills. So you ask, when are we going to be shut down? Tomorrow? 2 weeks from now? I'm going to just wait till the lights turn off, okay? You'll probably see InfoWars go down, the site. You see streaming shut down. Once we can't do it, we have the All Shows Network built at Bigley owns, and I'm going to go over and do it there. But I'm going to ride this horse till it dies. I'm going to ride this race car till the engine blows or the wheels come off. Or I crash into the embankment. I ain't giving up. I'm riding this.
Hell, it's me looking in my future when I'm at like 10,000 subscribers and it drops to 8,000 subscribers. Oh my God! You gotta buy this leftist Faraday cage. Inside of it, you got the Bolshevik immunostimulants, you got the NKVD dick pills, and most importantly, you got the Stalin hair regrowth for your mustache. Only $399.99. 2 times more expensive than the right-wing version because us leftists use unionized American labor to produce our dick pills. Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother.
Horse till I win or I lose. And then the media's like,
Come on, it's a good idea. The Stalin mustache regrower pill. Come on, you would buy that. I know you would fucking jump on that marketing train.
oh, he's finally going to lose. Oh, yeah, right. I am the InfoWar. Our listeners are the InfoWar. And we got a whole line. Here's the first one of a limited edition Veterans of the InfoWar t-shirts. Look at this. This is badass. And it's the troops on Iwo Jima raising the American flag with the InfoWars patch where the stars are. InfoWars lives forever. It is an amazing limited edition shirt. Look at that bad boy. And it funds this operation, but also the Alex Jones Network to keep us on the air. We need funds. We want to get more reporters back and expand. But we need your...
Dude, I'm so bad at asking for subscriptions when I listen to him. He's impressive.
support.
Complete unit.
TheAlexJonesStore.com.
Complete unit moment.
We have Mustafa Barghouti.
Unit moment. Let's go to Mustafa.
Party. And Rehovot in Israel, Ofer Kasif.
Live, baby.
Parliament, the Knesset. And in London, William Shahbaz, Professor of International Law at Middlesex University and author of the book, The Abolition of the Death Penalty in International Law. Thank you all for joining us. Let me start with you, William. We have important developments, but I think it's important probably to tell our viewers first what the situation was before this law, because Israel did have the death penalty, but there hadn't been an execution for more than 60 years.
Israel is what.
So this story is about the absolutely disgusting new legislation that they're trying to push through in Israel that would allow them to specifically, in a very non-apartheid state way, the way very non-apartheid states do it, make a law where they can kill Palestinians in particular, Palestinian prisoners in particular. Which is, when only one particular ethnicity can get the death penalty, that's definitely not apartheid. Trust me, bro.
In the United Nations and international law, de facto abolitionist state. It has not used the death penalty for 60 years. I don't think people have even been sentenced to death, but certainly it hasn't been carried out for 60 years. There were only 2 executions in the history of it.
They really just said that Israel hasn't executed anyone in 60 years. I mean, not legally, not by putting them on an electric chair or shit.
Israel.
Execution doesn't count when you blow up a journalist with a Predator missile.
This is a very dramatic development. If they not only...
They voted for it 60-48, but there's legal battles it needs to pass now. Exactly.
If the legislation survives the Supreme Court, but also if it's implemented, it's an extremely rare occurrence for a state that has stopped using the death penalty to revert to the practice of the death penalty. There are only a handful of countries where this has happened, and now Israel joins that rather unhappy and miserable club.
Ofer, you are a member of the body that voted for this, the Knesset. 62 law members to 48, and champagne corks being popped while it happened. Are you ashamed of this vote?
Ashamed is an understatement. It's
casually holocausting, not ranked like the Germans. Yeah, because it's, it's not legalized in the States, so the killing is not on a ranked server. But now they're trying to put the killing on a ranked server as well.
It's much more than...
To explain things in Fortnite terms, as disgusting as it is.
...being ashamed. But that's not the first time that I've been ashamed of this specific parliament, the 25th Knesset. But no doubt that this is the peak of the malicious behavior of this specific Knesset and coalition. That's disgusting, to say the least. And I actually entitled this law not as a death penalty law, but as a genocide law. And if you allow me, I can explain logically why it should be regarded as a law that actually enables, not to say requires, genocide.
Why should it be called the genocide law?
Well, apart from the law as such itself, that we should analyze and refer to, and I believe we will do that, we have to see the specific context, the context of the political discourse, mainly within the coalition, but also in the public, in the society at large. 2 things should be observed.
Hot sauce.
First, that there is a common parlance within the public and especially within the coalition discourse that there's nothing as such as Jewish terrorism. If there is nothing like Jewish terrorism, that also means or entails logically that there aren't Jewish terrorists. And if there aren't Jewish terrorists, that means that this law doesn't appeal and apply. This law doesn't apply to Jews by
apartheid. But remember, calling it apartheid is insane anti-Semitism, right?
Definition. On the other hand, the very same who argue that there's nothing such as Jewish terrorism argue that all Palestinians are terrorists. Just 3 days ago, literally, the chair of the Interior Committee of the Knesset, who is a member of the gang of Ben Gvirs, said, and I quote, that there aren't innocent people in Jenin and that there aren't innocent children in Jenin. That's common parlance. Now, if there aren't innocent Palestinians, neither children, that means that all Palestinians, according to those bigots, are terrorists.
Okay.
And if all terrorists should be hanged,
let me bring in Mustafa as our representative.
I mean, you should have let him finish the argument. It was a decent argument, but okay.
Of the Palestinians, if I can now. Mustafa, I mean, we have discussed issues on this program so many times together. I assume now it takes a lot to shock you, but the fact this passed and you saw this go into law, and you just heard Ofer talk about Ben-Gvir, the architect of this, he was wearing a golden noose-shaped lapel pin. What do you think of the people who pushed this into law?
It's very simple. The passing of this criminal law, which is another war crime by Israel, and the way they celebrated the passing of this law, and the pens you have just described, which shows ropes that will be used to hang us, the Palestinians. All of that shows you one thing. Israel has moved so far in the direction of fascism. This is a fascist government, and these are fascist ministers, and this is a fascist establishment. Nothing else can be said about this behavior. They are not only fascist, they are also consolidating the deepest and most clear worst system of apartheid. At the time of South African apartheid system, nobody dared there to say that if a black man kills a white man, he will be executed, but if a white man kills the black man, he will not be executed. That's exactly what Israel is saying. Palestinians only can be executed. Palestinians only will be subjected to death penalty. And that is the worst form of a system of apartheid. But more than that, what you see here is an act to legalize the crimes that are happening against Palestinians.
Mods, pay attention to well-intentioned but nonetheless Fed-posting chatters. Thank you.
The fact that Israel is executing Palestinians through field execution, I think there are between 1,000 and 2,000 cases of field execution practiced by Israel, especially in Gaza. It is a way of legalizing the fact that Israeli troops go around and assassinate people. And it is a way of legalizing the fact that Israel killed so far 90 Palestinian prisoners since the 7th of October in Israeli jails. They're killing people by torture. They're killing people by depriving them of food, by starvation. And they're killing people by deprivation of medical treatment. And more than that, those who even rape Palestinians, as in the case of the 5 Israeli soldiers, they are relieved from any responsibility. And the cases were dropped against them. So that shows you what we face here is not only a war crime, is not only a system of apartheid. What we face here is a system of fascists who want to impose their fascist laws on the Palestinian people.
William, the global trend for...
Beautifully put. I rarely have nothing to add, but I have nothing to add. They've been in a war for 3 fucking years. They've lost it. They've become so desensitized to violence that anything counts at this point. They're getting seriously pounded. Forefront war with allegedly 80% of the resistance gang rockets now hitting their target. They are depraved enough to use nukes if they decide that they risk losing isn't real. But no, you stupid fuck. Iran is the problem. WMDs in every school in Iran. That's who might end up dragging us into a nuclear holocaust. Not the country that's just been on repeat attacking its neighbors, executing an entire ethnicity domestically, and nonstop, proactively motivating, guiding, and inspiring their original financier, the United States of America, to do the same. All right, man, my bad, right? Like, come on. In this chat, we support Israel, please. Ha! April Fools. that one was weak. I'm so bad at this holiday. I'm very bad at this holiday. I'm very bad at this holiday. Oh, God. Apologies.
Some considerable time has been towards abolition of the death penalty. There's been condemnation of this move from the European Union, from the United Kingdom, from the United Nations. The US, though, the State Department, says it respects Israel's sovereign right to determine its own laws and penalties for individuals convicted of terrorism. The US itself gets a lot of criticism for its death penalty and the amount of executions, more than 1,000 people put to death since the 1970s. But what Israel's done here doesn't even have the guardrails that the US system does it? And I'm not just talking about the discrimination, the fact this only faces Palestinians.
You know, the U.S. death penalty is also characterized by discrimination, and it's been demonstrated. Criminologists have shown how it's not the people themselves, it's not by the race of the offender, but by the victim. So that if the victim of a murder is white, a black man is much more likely to get the death penalty than if the victim of the murder is a person of color. So there's a lot of racism that it infects the U.S. justice system generally, but it also affects the application of the death penalty. That being said, for many years, the death penalty has been declining in the U.S., but there has been an uptick since the beginning of last year, since Trump became the president, mainly in the state of Florida. And, you know, it's kind of an irony. The 3 states in the world now that are moving backwards, that are moving towards more executions, besides Israel, are the United States and Iran. They're the 3 worst as we speak right now. There are only about 30 countries in the world that now use the death penalty out of nearly 200. And of those 30, the majority only use it very occasionally. So it's becoming increasingly isolated. And all that does really is underscore how special this is, what's happening in Israel. It's as if they don't care about what the rest of the world thinks of them.
Ofer.
Yes, and that's what happens when you live in a unipolar world and you're supported by the only country on the planet that is large and strong enough that nobody can put a stop to anything that they imagine doing. It's number one. And number two, as the 2 other gentlemen also noted in this particular deliberation, these are fucking fascists. So they're just following through on what their ideology at the end of the day says is normal, which is strong eats weak. We are the holy people. The enemy is subhuman and should be treated as such. They should not only be given lower value in the caste system that we are developing locally, but they should also not exist financially in the eyes of the law, and now literally physically should not exist on our territory. So it is. We can say many things about especially this part of the Knesset, but to an extent almost the entire part of the Knesset. We can say many things about them, but we cannot say that they are not following through on very openly stated ideological goals, which again is the full extermination of the Palestinian people, but a lot of people only end there. The full extermination of the Palestinian people can only be achieved through the complete and utter destabilization of the entire region, both Arab and Muslim states, which will, of course, at all times try and do something to a lesser or greater degree to stop said apartheid, right? That's the only way you can do it. Like, let's imagine South Africa continued existing in the form that it existed in back in the day, which of course was incredibly horrifying, but did not have the financial, military, or international support at the level that Israel does to fully follow through on their genocidal intent. Let's imagine if they did, and if they wanted to continue the apartheid system and eventually turning all of South Africa, quote unquote, white, in the coming decades, what would South Africa also need to do? It would have to completely destabilize, destroy, or co-opt any African state, any black majority state in its immediate surrounding, right? That's where it would have pivoted towards eventually as well. When you want to do colonization, you either have to be surrounded by other colonial states or by states that have no ability to do anything to you. Therefore, fascism is not only imperialism turned inwards, but also in the long term, no matter how on perspective it is a system that has to go to war in order to preserve itself existing in the way it wants to exist. That's why it is inhuman. As cliche as it sounds, I sound like some sort of fucking Miss World candidate here, etc., etc. It has to facilitate itself to continue existing the way it does by doing that. Now, back in the day, you like a couple of 100 years ago, before cameras didn't exist, you could have done it in silence, in quiet. A couple of 100 years ago, every other quote-unquote strong and powerful European, usually, but not only nation, was also engaging in some form of colonialism, outwardly or not. So it was not exactly pushing against the status quo. Because of these two contradictions and many other contradictions, of course, we now with Israel see it in its full lack of glory and fully blood-painted face, and therefore react with disgust to with such great disgust, because we are unironically seeing 17th century behavior develop in front of our eyes in 2026. That is why it is a regressive, a reactionary ideology, not only because it pivots us away from concentrating on the real issues that plague our lives, which is systemic, economic, capitalism, and so on, but it is also regressive because it is literally regressive. It wants to reintroduce modes of government domestically that we all agreed are outdated, extremely dangerous, and extremely painful and contradictory, but it also wants to reintroduce the same way of governance towards other states. Yes? And it's extra shocking because we all know we live, unipolar, American empire, and not only going around doing all sorts of fucked up shit, but that we excuse with, it's already done. Like, the American colony is established and it can do whatever it wants, literally because it's bigger than anyone else. And then you see Israel, basically whose entire army is basically, fucking SS officers who mostly focus on domestic population control, trying to do this not only domestically but abroad. And we're like, how the fuck can this be happening? I mean, the only reason it can be happening is because they are part and parcel connected to said large imperial background, which allows them to continue. To dislodge one from the other, or vice versa, is not only, ideologically problematic in your analysis of how imperialism and colonialism works, but it is also simply not true in the context of what you pragmatically need to pull off a project such as Israel's. But thankfully, maybe, at least we have to hope, this is an approach that is long past its time, right? An approach that is so ripe with inadequacies that following through on it only speeds up the destruction of said experiment, in this case, an apartheid colonial experiment. So what I'm trying to say with this, without complicating it too much, is the more they push, the more damage they do, yes, but the more they push and the more damage they do, the greater the likelihood of their contradictions falling in on them. because it is physically impossible to achieve the goals that they want to achieve without, borderline nuclear catastrophe. And even in that case, they would also be wiped off the map. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, but that shouldn't, hope pill you too much, because the matter of when also implies that if long enough passes, not if long enough passes, by elongating this impossible and improbable task of establishing a fascist state and making sure that it cleanses itself of all opponents domestically and abroad, a lot of motherfuckers gonna die, right? So it is on us as comrades to, as we've been doing, the left has been at the forefront of the anti-Zionist push globally, right? It is on us to contextualize this way and to push the rhetoric that protects Israel into the ground, because that is the only thing keeping it afloat at the current moment. And we should especially utilize moments like, I don't know, the Iran war, where we show that, yes, the outstretched arm of imperialism can sometimes be so outstretched, I'm talking about the relationship of the United States and Israel, that it can sometimes even draw the core, America itself, into conflicts that are not even in its interests necessarily. And the Iran war is a perfect example of that. So when I do see comrades contextualizing it in that way, I agree with the pitch, because the pitch is pragmatic, because the pitch pushes towards the decoupling of the imperial core to an extent from its outstretched arm, which should limit the ability for the outstretched arm to do maximum damage. We are doing damage control with Israel and biding our time. Its system will convulse in on itself. The only thing we can do is make sure that the outstretched arm does not bring the maximum number of casualties down into the water with it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Kako ide Trumpov rat? Jel bega ili ne još? Bega, će bega. Ali vidjet ćemo, pre nego da bega može nešto uradi. They would eventually have their own Balkan war thing, but even the Texan and Ohio guy will drink whiskey together the same way a Serb and a Bulgarian would drink vodka together. Yeah. Anyways, we have hit the third hour, and I forgot to LARP about gifts, gift subs, and subscribing individually, and continuing gifts, blah, 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 all the stuff. If you want to support what we do here, allow us to remain as principled and independent as possible, improving this show and starting other shows that I do by reinvesting a lot of the dough that comes in here. Do consider subscribing, oiling us the fuck out, continuing the very, very good, or forwarding a very kind sub that you have received yourself, or using your Prime, because why not use your Prime? It's the first. You probably got a lot of Primes in here. Prime me the fuck up, Zaddy. Yes. It's a great fucking merch. Yeah, I wonder who designs those. What is the stream ending? No, it's not ending. I am just pitching to you guys to fucking subscribe. Woo!
In terms of public opinion, I think that's pretty shocking. Israelis, as far as I can see, seem to support what the Knesset has done. But I did think it was interesting and rather grim, the fact that this legislation specifies the way to kill people, and the people in this case are Palestinians, as hanging. And that, as I understand it, is because Israel...
Fascism is imperialism turned inward is exactly what you described. I agree. But you're right, it is often misunderstood. Part of the discourse in colonialism was more about the reaction of disgust in the face of fascism in European societies, while taking colonialism as a thought defeat that doesn't deserve reprimand. I agree. No, I agree completely. The analysis and the thesis is completely correct. What I'm trying to just differentiate in my previous statement is a lot of people think that, as disgusting as it sounds, I mean, it is disgusting. It is genocidal thought that the Israelis will stop at the Palestinians. So they're like, it's not my thing. It's not my war or whatever. But no, this will eventually spill over into its surrounding area in order to protect the system of extermination domestically. That's the only thing I was trying to say. Because when people misinterpret imperialism turned inward, they think it's an exclusively domestic project, but it cannot be contained inside of borders. It can never be contained inside of borders. And even if somehow it is successful inside of your own borders, you nonetheless afterwards need another enemy, because fascism feeds itself exclusively on the us versus them dynamic, the metaphysical definitions, invented fake non-material definitions of nationality, culture, and all the other shit, which will then lead them to go start war somewhere else.
Israel's doctors' union won't carry out lethal injections.
Yeah, that's true, but I think that that's relatively marginal. Obviously, I oppose to any kind of death penalty, whoever was convicted and whoever was the victim. In principle, I think that we should regard any kind of death penalty as a murder by the state. You know, that reminds me a very famous myth or story about great Alexander, who once faced a pirate. And the pirate said, if you have one boat to rob others, you are regarded as a pirate. If you have a navy of boats to rob others, you are regarded as great Alexander. So I can paraphrase it and say that if you kill, perish the thought, 1 or 10 or even 20 people, you are a terrorist. But if you allow yourself to kill hundreds, you are the government of Israel. And obviously that's what we should reject.
I mean, it's ironically, if you're a paramilitary movement that is fighting for, quote unquote, the liberation, if you're a paramilitary movement that is fighting for a particular, let's even say, religiously inspired cause, and you're blowing motherfuckers up, you're, to an extent, rightfully called a terrorist. But if you have a state that says that they are fighting for some sort of religiously inspired end goal and you're blowing people up, I mean, you're just enshrining what was promised to you 5,000 years ago, right? So if I put on this mask and I say that this neighborhood has been promised to me 5,000 years ago and I blow up a couple of blocks, of course everybody's going to be, this is an unhinged insurgent terrorist. But if I run a state with a couple of thousand, if not hundreds of thousands of people like me to believe the same shit, and we have the support of Washington, and I blow up the same fucking couple of blocks, I am only defending my right to exist in this neighborhood. Yeah.
Whether it's by...
I'm just block pilled, not pirate pilled. I have to alternate my allegory there. And respect to this guy for not using that famous quote-unquote fake quote, if you kill a man versus if you kill 100 million. 100 gorillion.
Or
100
lethal
gorillion.
injection or guillotine or whatever. I agree with you that using hanging, part of the problem here, although again the marginal one, is that it also involves torture and it involves suffering of the victim. But in the end of the day, the most important thing that we should fight against is the very existence of death penalty in general, and in this case, of racist death penalty, because, as I said before, eventually it amounts to genocide.
Mustafa, this would apply to Palestinians, including those that have Israeli citizenship and live inside Israel. But can I focus on a moment on the Palestinians in the West Bank, because they face supposed justice in military courts. And I believe the military courts have a conviction rate of over 99%. And then there's virtually no appeal under this legislation.
Absolutely, and that makes the life of every prisoner in Palestine, in Israeli jails, who I consider hostages actually, and they should be called hostages. Each one of them is threatened now, even those who have been already taken to court.
Bude tu, možeš s ćacima da se utopiš sa tom maskom posle akta. Da kažem, pa brate, pazi, oni... Ne mogu ni alegoriju neku da se setim za ćacije, jebi ga, kad ono, pokušavam da izmislim neku falš ideologiju koja ih vodi, ali ono postoji ideologija koja ih vodi, osim moje, daj leba, tako da ne, čak ne mogu ni paralelu da napravim koji kurac. Wow, ovo divi nikad ni palo na pamet.
And had their judgment. Because we know that people like Ben-Gvir and other fascists can simply reopen cases so that they would achieve what they want, as the fascist Ben-Gvir said, hang them one by one. So yes, there is very big risk to all those who are in prison now and those who will be arrested later. But what I want also to say that the goal of this decision, of this resolution, of this law that they have passed, is if they think this will deter Palestinians, it will actually create the opposite effect, because this is another very powerful message to Palestinians that Israeli community, Israeli public, Israeli society does not want peace and have no place for compromise with Palestinians. It is a message that this government is only a government of war, and the only future they have for Palestinians is either death or displacement. And let me tell you that we would not...
And that has always been true and will always be true of a country that follows a system of colonial extermination. De facto.
...not have reached this level of fascism if it wasn't for the silence of the international community.
Okay, well, let me bring that point, if I may, to William, who is our international lawyer on the panel. Under international law, Francesca Albanese already told us, yeah, this is wrong, but is anything going to happen because Israel doesn't care about international law? You could say it ripped up international law.
7 million people is barely a nation. Oi, there's so many nations of 7 million people. Polaris, don't shoot us like this. What the hell are you on?
What it did in Gaza.
Hey now, man, what the fuck did we do? Man, chill, bro, what the fuck? Macedonians out here with 2 million, fucking Croats out here with 3 million. You're like, whoa, bro, what the fuck, man? Whoa. Well, I'm sorry, it's fine, it's funny. It's funny, it's funny.
So.
It's objectively funny.
Well, Israel is going to get its knuckles rapped in various international fora. When it goes before the Human Rights Council, it's going to be denounced for doing this.
What this? Think I'll pass. Step into the mind of Tiger Woods. I mean, if you're a gooner, it's probably awesome, dude. If you're a gooner, Jesus, imagine how much like free gooner mobile he's got in his head, dude. I was born to golf. No, I was forced to golf, but born to goon. Tiger Woods, probably.
Negotiating table, so the GCC must be represent there and clearly communicate its demands.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much. Rasul Sardar reporting to us.
Gooner shoes, dude. Shoes that improve the gooning session.
From the Saudi capital, Riyadh. Iran has fired missiles.
That's why you're wearing a golf course. No, the better joke is that's why he chose to play golf, because it's the least gooner job on the planet. Like, who gets horny while playing golf? Like, what the fuck?
Missiles towards Israel, injuring at least 25 people. The Israeli ambulance service says a cluster munition missile hit multiple sites in and around Tel Aviv. Health officials say children are among the injured. Nida Ibrahim reports from Ramallah in the occupied West Bank.
An Iranian cluster munition shattered a long pause. It had been 19 hours of relative silence from Iran, but at 7 a.m. local time, A fragmenting war had struck nearly a dozen sites in its central region. In Bnei Brak, east of Tel Aviv, several people were injured. The missile caused major damage to homes and buildings. And Israeli media say at least 100 people were forced to evacuate their homes. Further attacks from Iran continued on Wednesday morning. At one point, sirens blasted across nearly all of Israel, warning of coordinated attacks from Hezbollah and Iran. Some missiles targeted military bases near Tel Aviv, while others were fired towards southern Israel. Estimates suggest that Hezbollah launched 50 rockets and drones against northern Israel in 24 hours. Yemen's Ansarullah al-Houthi group also fired a missile into southern Israel. The Israeli army says it was intercepted.
Tuesday is the eve of the Jewish holiday of Passover, and Israeli sources expect Iran and Hezbollah.
A brand new CNN.
I got a guy walking over here talking about the polls. He's going to talk about the polls. He's going to talk about Warsaw. He's going to talk about Krakow. He's going to talk about Sedavide. He's going to talk about everything, man. He's going to be like percentages. Our favorite Polish pastime, Polska Polaku.
And poll finds that the
Where is my Kubashi?
president's approval on the economy has fallen to an all-time
I got my cynical Chris. Where are my Polish motherfuckers in chat? Yo.
career low for him of
Timer, let's go.
31%. It has never been lower for President Trump. This only
He must be loving that. I'm the king at breaking my poll numbers. It's because I'm good at breaking polls. I fucking hate them. Get all the polls out of the country. I always said they're too uncircumcised. Who even eats pierogi? I don't like pierogi.
begins to tell the story.
Why does everybody tell me that I got low Polish? I don't even like the Polish.
Though, of the president's problems on the economy. With us now, CNN chief data analyst Harry Etten. As I said, this is just scratches the surface because there's
Well, not enough people talk about how Balkan's low key in the White House through the wife guy.
some other numbers here that are really staggering.
This is no April Fool's joke. This is a disaster. All these numbers are a disaster for President Trump. I mean, let's just talk about inflation, which is the name of the game. Okay, highest disapprovals on inflation about this time in a presidency. Whenever you have Joe Biden and Jimmy Carter on the board and you're matching them or slightly exceeding them when it comes to inflation, you know it's bad. Look at this. 72% in our latest CNN poll say they disapprove of the president on inflation. Joe Biden, average of polls at this point in his presidency, 68%. And Jimmy Carter, whose presidency, just like Joe Biden's, was absolutely wrecked by inflation, was it?
Speaking of inflation, wrecking something, how about you go like inflation and wreck the sub count? 3 hours, 30 minutes. I have to do a grift session. How about you go full poll on my sub count and subscribe for $6 a month, free through Prime, by oiling me up, or by most best thing you can do by paying forward your sub. Now we have a very high sub count. A lot of incredible oilers. So all of you have been gifted one. If you pay one forward or if you continue one, you will be a massive horse beef. Ha, that's a compliment. Horst Beef HL is very good. Thank you, Horst, for the 5. Be like Horst. Do my polls really good. Up my Hormusi. My Hormusi requires some oiling. Krill-tacular. Fantastic. Very tacular. Give my poll AO. I want all the polls. Thank you very much, both of you. Ladies, gentlemen, and enemies. Let's go. I want all the polls. They said Polska Polaku. I said Polska Jugopnikaku, Jugopniku. Polska Jugopniku. Sva Polska bude Jugopnik. Pickle. Thank you. Let's go. Paint the chat purple. Let's fucking go.
It's 66% about it.
I want more Western taxpayers, okay?
At this point in his presidency back in 1978, Donald Trump even worse than they are. So you see it here, and the one word is, or phrase I might say is... Oh.
No, this might be the world's greatest fumble. I mean, I can't think of, I can't compare it to anything. I think I'm relatively versed in in history. The only way to fumble this more is, I don't know, to do Vietnam. But then you gotta like also lose like tens of thousands of American soldiers. But then again, Vietnam did not cause a global economic disaster that moved Western powers away from their alliance to the United States. I mean, I can't, like, it's also one of the quickest, right? Ogorki zoni kurva, nije zadin pikiel.
Oh my goodness gracious, what a disaster.
Just what's so interesting here is inflation was way higher.
Yes.
So they just, right now, voters don't like what the president is doing on it, even if it isn't as high as it was at these other times. What about gas prices?
What about gas prices, which of course is part of this inflation picture, only making this number climb ever higher? How about disapprove on gas prices? Okay, disapproval ratings on gas prices. Biden's worst number, his worst number in any poll I could find, was 72% disapprove of Joe Biden on gas prices. Donald Trump right now in our CNN poll, 76%. 76%. 3 in 4 Americans disapprove of the way that Donald Trump is handling gas prices. And again, the gas prices were higher during Biden, but the increase has been so dramatic. Under the last month under Donald Trump, we're talking about an increase of about $1. It's the highest increase that we've seen since at least 1991 in terms of raw dollars. No wonder this number is so high. He is beating or doing even worse than Joe Biden was on gas prices, which of course was such a major
You know that drinking with this guy would be awesome because he could just drop stats. I love drinking with stats guys. You know, stats guys, you don't fuck with stats guys. What do I mean by this? I'm like, whatever you mention, he's like, oh, yeah. In like 1973, 14% of people in Lagos, Nigeria, disagreed with the coup going on there. So when you say that it had 100% support, you're wrong. Actually, there was great resistance. I'm like, whoa. Love to have one of these. How do I buy one of these guys? I have a producer. Let's get me one of these. I'll pay 5% of income to just a guy in chat that is just dropping stats. There's probably like an AI algorithm that I can use, but you guys would murder me.
Issue. So talk about his...
I am an AI. I am dropping stats.
Disapproval on the economy. Put it in historical perspective.
Okay, so you see
That's guys make the worst friends ever. Why? Because they call out your bullshit. Because they know the stats about it. They know the statistics.
Gas prices here. Disaster.
No, you can't use an AI for a stats guy because he's got to have like Riz, you know? He's gotta be very, very, very engaging. You can't just do new monthly sub goal. Stat guy, I'm getting a stat guy.
You see,
Barry, you want to be my stat guy?
The inflation here. Disaster. How about the economy? You know, you mentioned it was the
we have like Barry streams in like a small box like this, like a tiny one, and I put it all the way up here, you know, all the way in the corner, right here. I put it right here, and like I have a button that I press that unmutes him. It unmutes him, and he just goes like, "Actually, statistically very incorrect," and I then mute him again. Legendary.
Worst in terms of the approval rating for Donald Trump.
What about his wife's girlfriend? I mean, she's got to figure out with his wife's boyfriend, you know?
In any poll we've conducted, how about highest disapprovals on the economy about this point in term 2? Look at this. These are the worst. In our poll, 69% disapproved of Donald Trump on the economy. For George W. Bush, it was 57% in terms of the average. Barack Obama, 56%. Donald Trump is crushing him on a metric you don't want to be crushing anybody on, which is disapproval ratings on the economy. He's double digits worse. I was looking at some other polling data, also above the 57 and 56%. The worst of all time at this point in term number 2. It's the economy dragging Trump down, being, of course, accelerated by inflation being so bad. And, of course, the gas prices just adding up. It's like a pancake tower, and you're just reaching the top. And this is not a tower you want to climb.
One of the things you deal with when you deal with economic sentiment is how people feel things are going to be. So what are the prediction markets saying about where they see inflation going?
Yeah,
fuck the prediction markets right now because they're following the craziest amount of bias of all time, dude. They're like, oh man, this is just gonna fix itself, dude. Like, oh my god, there's no way this is happening, bro.
As the Kalshi prediction markets say that we're going on inflation. Chance CPI year over year is above 4%. In any month in 2026, 64%. That would be for the first time since 2023. So the inflation tower that we're going up, it seems like there are more steps on a stairway, certainly not to heaven, more like hell if you're the president of the United States.
Yeah, I mean, the White House certainly.
One W that we can potentially see out of this, and this is a slight prediction by your government that could go horribly, horribly wrong, is that the taste of war is now so salty and spicy and jizz-like in the mouth of the MAGA administration that they might not nuke the world over Taiwan. That's all I'm saying, right? Like, hopefully this does the same to them, but in reverse of what Caracas in Venezuela did when it basically informed the administration that we can do anything. We're fucking super soldiers. Hopefully this does the opposite and informs them in the next 3 years they don't do anything foolish again. Unfortunately, though, I don't think that's how it works. Usually how it works is when you're embarrassed, you double down, okay? These are Gamba presidents we're talking about. Double down, triple down. Can you triple down? I guess quadruple down. So, yeah, I wouldn't bet on that either.
He doesn't want the predictions to be right about this. That's clear.
My excellent panel is back, including David Chalian, who, of course, knows these numbers better than anyone else. David, the economy was an issue that pulled up Trump in the first term. Second term, totally different story.
Yeah, totally pulled him up in the first term because he consistently rated better.
So many people are getting fired after this. I mean, depends on what he says in 5 hours.
On his management of the economy in term one than he did on his overall job performance. Like, it was a strong suit of his. This 31% approval on the economy, which is issue number one for voters, far and away, as you noted, this is a real political problem for him and his party, as you know, who are on the ballot this year to try to maintain their majorities in Congress. Not only is it his lowest across both terms, but you're seeing erosion among his partisans. So the 71% of Republicans approve of his job on the economy right now. Obviously, that means mostly his party is still with him. But that 71% is down from 85% approval among Republicans just in January on this issue. So you're seeing slippage in his own house. That's a real concern for the White House.
That's exactly what I took away from this. And I think, I've been out on the road a lot. I was out in the fall when he was in Pennsylvania. Actually,
what they're saying in very polite terminology is like the normals, they on time recognize this guy's fucking batshit. But now the marauding lobotomites of the United States of America, like the subcast of fucking want to say the R word and want to own the libs, the guys who only exist to own the libs. Even the lib owners are like, man, low-key, are we getting owned? So, it's problematic when the chuds are even going like, what, bruv, what? I still am not that optimistic on this. In my opinion, a 71% of support on a war that is causing such direct economic damage to you, and nonetheless 71% of you and your type of people, your type of mentally lumpen people, is not a positive sign. It shows just how actually fucking insane you are.
Going to give a speech specifically on the economy.
And insanity underpinned by the material conditions that you find yourself in, and that is not based upon your genetic predisposition and so on. Blah, blah, blah. You fucking know me, chat. And now Hassan is streaming, so only the OGs are here in chat. You fucking know exactly what I mean, Jesus Christ.
Economy and the issue.
Sorry, I have to speak to you insane Twitter liberals in the walls. They're like, oh my God, are you implying that there's mental deficiency that correlates to political trends? Fucking suck my dick.
Of affordability, which they recognized months ago has been a liability for the president. And a lot of the Trump supporters that I spoke with said that they were willing to be patient, but to a point. And I think this war, a lot of them voted for him because they thought that he would be focused on domestic issues, focused on what's going on here in America. And I think this war has really started to erode the support and the patience that many of those Trump supporters have had.
Yeah, and to that point, just to dive a little bit deeper into the numbers, Trump policies, their impact on the economy, 65% of the American public say they have worsened Trump policies have worsened the economy. That is obviously not a good sign for the president and his party. And to the point about the slippage among Republicans, about disapproval of the economy among everybody. It was down from 8 points from January until now. Republicans, 85% supported his handling of the economy back in January, just now 71%.
Yeah.
That is so significant.
And I think, there is a direct line between Trump's decision to help bomb Iran and gas prices being $4 a gallon. And so in that one, I think people are sitting at home and saying, he made a decision that is costing me more money. And it's, to me, it's like the most stark example. And it goes back to what we've been saying is that.
Okay, man, I thought I'm a talking head of Jesus Christ, and I talk for 4 hours without stopping. Jesus. The people are reacting to seeing the prices increase, so they're correlating the foreign policy with the price increase, which is finally making 1 + 1 go into 2 in their head, and that is why they are now angry, because they understand that going to war unsuccessfully will cause prices to increase. Wow, give me crazy CNN salary. Speaking about ranting for 4 hours, now I gotta go and rant for another 2 hours and a half, probably, about Cuba with my brother Hakeem over on the Deprogram podcast. I need to, out of respect to both of the shows that I now am on, we need an exclamation point Deprogram as well, because low-key disrespectful. I just realized my older son, I'm forgetting about my older son. So, yeah, I'm gonna go record. Check me out on my older son, the Deprogram, and my younger son, the Reaction Pod. It was an absolute pleasure having you here, my friend. Now we have a 6-month sub, so you have to come back all the time and get brain rotted with us, okay? Sometimes we drink on stream, so we can drink here, and then we can go and touch grass together and continue out. That would be a great fucking time. That would be a great time. Hell, I can dude, because you know about this and everything. I can put a mask on your head, and we can, you can come on a stream sometimes. That would be fucking hilarious. How many kids do you have? Does it ever end? I have currently 5,617 children, also known as my child soldiers, also known as subscribers. So many children. And no, I want more children. I am a min-maxer on subscription. An eternal growth of children. Eternal growth of children. James from the internet visited us earlier, so I'm going to rate James from the internet. He's a great chap. He's a chill chap. He is a friend of the show. Go and give him a follow. Enjoy the rest of your stream. Thank you to all the magnificent Oilers today. Thank you to all the new followers, the old followers, and most importantly, people that chose to spend their hard-earned free time, or if you listen while you are in the office, hard-earned hard time. Follow me on the socials. Join me on El Discord. It is a wonderful, horrible place. And listen to the Reaction Podcast and the Deprogram Podcast. They are both excellent shows. With that being said, I am Adolf Hitler. April Fools, I think.